Good evening. Let's start. Okay. Good evening, all of you online. Good evening to all my friends. Okay. Naveen is saying, I don't know whether online or offline, both. Okay. So, we were doing preamble. Okay. Where did we reach? Okay. So, we will see. Okay. So, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Okay. So then justice, social, economic and political. We'll just revisit the synopsis, okay, of the previous class. So we started with doctrine of checks and balances. Why do we need doctrine of checks and balances? Because anything that is absolutely independent may turn to be authoritative. Any organ of the state is allowed to function in an absolute independent manner without check by other organ of the state, then this will lead to totalitarianism or concentration of power, and it will be detrimental to democracy. Because in a democracy, the government should have limited powers and the people should have powers to criticize the government and hold them accountable. And contrary to the popular perception, the very idea of democracy is not about elections only. It is about 5-year accountability of the government. In every action, it is accountable to the people. And the power that the government commands actually is coming from the people. So the very concept of colonial concept that the power is coming from the government to the people is a wrong concept, because it is the people of India who gave to themselves a constitution, and that constitution established a government. So finally the government is accountable to the people. So we need all the three organs to ensure democracy. We also need healthy separation of powers so that they function in an independent manner. At the same time, that independence must not become a what you call a detrimental to democracy, or must not become as an attack on democracy. So it is necessary that independence ke saath saath there must be accountability also. If one organ of the state is doing something wrong, the other organ of the state must correct that. If the Parliament of India is passing a law more than what it has been bestowed by the constitution, then the judiciary will declare that law to be null and void. And if the judiciary is accused of proved misbehavior or incapacity, then the parliament shall be removing the judges. At the same time, the executive's action shall also be scrutinized by the judiciary. So this is doctrine of checks and balances. Next comes the preamble. Okay. So preamble is identity card of the constitution. It is actually the synopsis of the constitution. It is actually to understand the minds of the makers of the constitution. What kind of India was envisaged by the founding mothers and fathers of the constitution? What kind of India is envisaged or is contemplated or is thought in the constitution is summed up in one page. It has the ideas that would be driving India for years to come and generations to come. Those ideas have been incorporated in the preamble. Okay, so this is the thing that we did yesterday, and also that what you call from where the concept of preamble was given to the world by United States of America, and the content of preamble. The content of preamble has been given by objectives resolution of Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. See, listen to one very basic thing. For example, you are in a hostel, okay? So in a hostel, you are part of the student union. So in our hostel days, the student union always had that tussle with the hostel administration. Okay, so because administration was the authority and the student union was the representative of the students, but the same students, same some of my friends who were students union, they themselves became warden or resident tutor later. Okay, so what all demands you were demanding, now you have the time to implement them. So the Constitution of India is also the reflection of all the Indian National Congress resolutions that were passed from 1905 till 1947, all the annual resolutions of Congress, whatever they were demanding from the Britishers, now they themselves were given an opportunity to give to themselves those things, and the same has been incorporated in the Constitution. It is also said that a greater deal of our Constitution is lifted from Government of India Act 1935. A greater deal of our Constitution has been inspired, lifted from many of, I went through Government of India Act 1935, word by word, many provisions are there, as they were there in Government of India Act 1935. Okay, so the content of the preamble is from the objective resolution speech of Mr. Nehru, but the concept of having a preamble has been taken from United States of America, and of course the United Nations Charter also has a preamble. Okay, and the beauty of that charter is United Nations is an amalgamation, it is a Congress. What is Congress? This class is also a Congress, collection of people getting together. In USA the parliament is called Congress, and there are two houses, House of Representatives, which is the Lok Sabha of US, and US Senate, which is the Raj Sabha of US. So actually, so whatever we were demanding, the same has been incorporated, and objectives resolution, the content is from there, concept is from there, and UN Charter says we the people of United Nations. So there was a discussion in while the charter was being prepared that we should have we the countries of United Nations. If you write we the countries of United Nations, the entire functioning of UN shall be in consonance with the first primacy would be given to countries. Now the primacy, who is at the center of discussion? It is the people of United Nations. So the world democratization of the world politics, in the sense that people were placed at the center stage. Now we are a sovereign nation. Man karega, sign karenge, nahi karega, nahi karenge. UN Convention on Refugees, 1961. Principle of non-refoulement. Humne nahi sign kiya. We will not sign convey. We will, if we want, we will accept refugees. If we want, we will revert them back. Reverting is called refoulement. So there is a principle of non-refoulement. So we are a sovereign nation. Russia, many countries joined WTO or did not join WTO. US joined Kyoto Protocol as an annexer country and came out of Kyoto Protocol. The UPA government promised that we will sign and ratify trade facilitation agreement. When the present NDA government came, they said, no, we will not sign. Finally, Mr. Obama came to India, a compromise was settled and we signed. So our joining of UN does not dilute our sovereignty. Whatever we want, we will do. We abrogated 370 internal and external sovereignty. Okay, so objectives resolution, the first thing that is there in preamble, as you can see on your screens, is we the people of India. So it is directly stating that the Constitution of India is deriving its strength from people of India. So where does the final sovereignty lies? The final sovereignty lies with the people who are the ultimate sovereign. Okay, so and then it says we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India, make India into a sovereign. So sovereignty has both internal and external dimensions. One more thing, sovereignty means also to give away a territory. No part can claim to secede from India. वो claim नहीं कर सकते हैं. But if we want, we can give. So sovereignty has both the dimensions. We can accept a territory and we can also cede a territory. That is sovereignty. We can join trade facilitation agreement. We cannot join trade facilitation agreement. Regional comprehensive economic partnership agreement. You must have heard. It is one of the very big agreements. Mr. Modi addressed the Indo-ASEAN summit and he said that I am reminded of Mr. Gandhi and I will not join RCEP. He said that the farmers in India and the dairy sector will be hurt. And Gandhiji always emphasized on the rights of the marginal farmers and the people who are at the bottom of the society on economic parameter. They must be lifted. So we are a sovereign nation. We will sign RCEP. We will not sign RCEP. We may sign and we may revert. Getting much? Tomorrow we may withdraw our membership from WTO. So that is pure sovereignty, and the same has been what you call recognized globally. Even in at the what you call apex of Cold War, we followed non-alignment, that we will not be following and we will not be aligning with you the capitalist ideology led countries by USA led capitalist countries, and we will not be aligning with communist countries or in a socialist tinge, that is Russia. So we opted for non-alignment. Abhi kya ho raha hai? We are opting for, at that time we opted for non-alignment. Now we are opting for multi-alignment. So we are friends with Russia also, we are friends with USA. So I was reading some Western scholar said that multi-alignment is nothing but a realistic imitation of non-alignment. Multi-alignment is nothing but a realistic imitation of non-alignment. We are actually aligning with everyone and not aligning with one. So that is part of our sovereign existence. Okay. Then we have liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. So what is liberty? It is responsible use of freedom under rule of law, and responsible use of freedom under rule of law. So it is the freedom that is confined under rule of law, and rule of law is no rule of law pe you have access to current affairs. Okay, so I have taken a complete lecture of 2 hours only on rule of law. I think May or June, I don't remember. Current affairs, 1 hour or more than that only on rule of law. Rule of law, for example, liberty is responsible use of freedom under rule of law. Rule of law has 3 more spirits. There should be rule of law, and then there should be equality before law. For example, the law says that all those people who wear white shirt will be paying more taxes. So there is a rule of law, but there is no equality before law. Everybody in the law is not treated equally. Second, there should be predominance of legal spirit, and there should be supremacy of the constitution. Just having a law is not enough. Law should be recognized as supreme. So in one of the paragraphs of Keshwananda Bharti judgment, it is kept in Supreme Court Museum. Supreme Court says that basic structure mein, the first basic structure, although they have avoided the use of term first, but you think that Supreme Court judgments are mathematics? No. They are, at times they are very, very confusing. To clarify one judgment, you need 4 judgments. So to clarify Keshwananda Bharti, you had Raj Narayan judgment, then Minerva Mills judgment, then Vaman Rao judgment, then I.R. Kohilo judgment. Another constitution bench sat to clarify. It is not that easy. Every judgment is written in 500 pages. It is divided into 2 parts. Judgment ko 2 part hota hai. Ek obiter dicta. That part of the judgment which gives the reason why you are arriving at a conclusion. Usme reasoning hoti hai. That is not binding. That is the observation of the court. Then there is ratio decidendi. That is binding part of the judgment. Many a times it is not clear. They write in philosophical language, intellectual language, quotes, poems, which is not clear actually. So you need another judgment to actually clarify it is not mathematics. Okay. Many a times some students ask me a question, I can give an answer and make you happy. But I will never give an answer because actually there is no answer. And if it can be answered in Vision IAS class, then we don't need a Supreme Court. Then there will be 2 constitutional bench every morning at Vision IAS. Okay, so there is law, scholars, all the scholars, true scholars. Okay, WhatsApp scholars nahi. True scholars would say that law is a gray area. Many things are actually not. There is a gray area, and there is an element of subjectivity, not objective. It is not mathematics. UPSC requires you to have basic understanding of these topics. UPSC will not ask you how many chairs are there in the class. Every day you come, they will ask you a simple question. How many screens were there? How many doors make an entry to this class? So that you notice the minute fact rather than going on a very higher pedestal. Now, liberty of thought. Liberty is responsible use of freedom under rule of law. So, you can enjoy your freedom but without violating somebody else's freedom. Now, scholars have argued that liberty ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उसको मरने छोड़ दिए. You are allowed him to die. So I am reminded of the quote by Dadabhai Naroji. He said, law and order is very good during the British era, but poor man is allowed to starve in peace. So can you imagine a situation where a person can enjoy liberty in poverty? He will only have liberty of oxygen and a glass of water. Okay. If he has mobile, then WhatsApp videos will make him. Morning may will have WhatsApp, afternoon Facebook, evening maybe other forwards. So the point is, So the point is, liberty is negative liberty and positive liberty. Negative liberty is inviolable. Your freedom of speech and expression, you must be allowed to speak. Your right to practice any religion, so you must be allowed to practice religion. Your right to remain silent, that is also secured. So your right cannot be taken away without reason. You must, ab ja rahe hain, hang kar diya. Okay, so in negative liberty is that part of liberty which the state cannot interfere under any circumstances. But liberty is incomplete in negative liberty. You need to have positive liberty also, where the state will be providing schools, state will be providing internet, state will be providing swimming pool for his full development of human personality. So positive liberty is where the state can interfere to better your life. And for his entire life, Amar Sen has been awarded Nobel Prize for welfare economics, expansion of choices. The whole idea of liberty in the world has changed. It is not about state not disturbing you. It is actually the state intervening and providing you a better life. Getting much? So this is positive liberty and this is negative liberty. And a famous statement you must have heard, man is born free but everywhere he is in chains. So this is liberty. Now we have equality of status and opportunity. Now Article 39 of the Constitution consciously says that an economic system should be discovered. This question actually has been asked also, where the concentration of wealth should be avoided. एक ऐसी अर्थव्यवस्था बनानी है जहां concentration of wealth avoid होगा. Further in Article 38 says, minimize inequalities in income, eliminate inequalities in status. So every term that is used in the Constitution has a serious meaning. They could have written eliminate inequality in income. Is it possible to eliminate inequality in income? No, there will always be disparity. Somebody who is working hard would be getting more money, and by other virtues also get more money. So eliminate ki jagah minimize inequality in income, but irrespective of his economic status, that person will be given equal prestige in the police station. Equality of status. So law is equally applicable for everyone, be the rich or the poor. Getting my point? So you have equality of status and opportunity. Okay? Everybody should be given opportunity to develop in a healthy manner. Supreme Court says that people who are placed in similar circumstances shall be treated similarly. People who are not placed in similar circumstances shall not be treated similarly. Okay. Although this is off the track, but since we are talking about equality, I'll show you something. अब सुसाइड पे एक क्वेश्चन आया है, अभी सुसाइड का डाइसेक्शन करते हैं. Okay, meanwhile, we'll take a question. Somebody says, is suicide not an example of negative liberty in which state interferes and why? Actually, this is a great debate across the world. First of all, IPC Indian Penal Code 309 prescribes that if you attempt suicide and you are saved, then you will be subjected to maximum imprisonment of 1 year. Okay, it is a criminal offense to attempt suicide. Okay. IPC 306 says that abetment to suicide, you are creating circumstances for someone to commit suicide. That is also a criminal offense. Now the Supreme Court says, now in common cause case and Aruna Schonborg case and Gyan Kaur case and P. Rathinam case. अब ये सब तरफ ले जा रहा है, अभी मैं जाऊंगा नहीं. Okay. So in finally the Supreme Court in common cause case ruled that right to life also includes right to die with dignity. Okay, and requested the government to amend IPC 309 so that if anybody commits suicide, he needs care, attention and love rather than being imprisoned. So in harmony with the Supreme Court judgment, Parliament enacted National Mental Health Care Act 2017. In National Mental Health Care Act 2017, it is written, notwithstanding anything in IPC 309, notwithstanding anything in IPC 309 contrary to the opposite. Matlab, in normal circumstances, if the person commits suicide, he will not be subjected to a criminal offense. That doesn't mean that IPC 309 has been done away with. Delete. Nahi. If you say ki, give me a Lamborghini, otherwise I will commit suicide in front of DC's office. So this will not be taken as a depression and you will be subjected to 109. Otherwise, in normal circumstances, provisions of IPC shall not be applicable and you will be treated as a person who is mentally ill. Now, this is a great debate across the world, to what extent you have a right to take life. It is said that life is gift of the divine and nobody should be allowed to take. On a higher pedestal in Scandinavian countries or those countries, they can allow. But in India, suicide is not allowed, and right to life only includes right to die with dignity, does not include right to die anytime. Okay, so we will see this judgment of P. Rathinam, Gyan Kaur, Aruna Shanbog, and most importantly, the common cause case of Supreme Court. We will see an IPC 309. Okay, so this is the report of Mandal Commission. They have written one line about equality. देखिए क्या लिखा है? There is equality only among equals, and to equate unequals is to perpetuate inequality. सिर्फ जो दो लोग एक ही बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं, they come from socio-economic background, only can be equated. गरीब और अमीर रेस एक सी है. Somebody who got admission into DPS, okay, or at a better school, and somebody whose teacher came only on Monday. So can you, and then you say ki he is very weak in maths. So actually, the point is the race is not equal. There is equality only among equals. To equate unequals is actually to perpetuate inequality. You are getting this point, okay? Now, so equality of status and of opportunity. समझ में आ रहा है ना? हाँ? कभी-कभी मुझे डर लगता है. So is suicide not an example of negative liberty? To an extent, yes, it is. But every negative liberty is not recognized. If you go by that sense, the what you call the Constitution of India and Directive Principles of State Policy bans the slaughter of cows, calves and other milch and draught animals. So undoubtedly there are certain socio-economic cultural background of every country. In Singapore they have banned chewing gum. सिंगापुर में ले जाइए च्युइंग गम, और वहां नहीं चलता है कि ताऊ जी हैं डीसीपी बात करा देते हैं, ठीक है. सो इट इज नॉट लाइक, सो डू यू थिंक दैट सिंगापुर डजंट प्रैक्टिस लिबर्टी? दे डोंट अलाउ च्युइंग गम. So every country has there are religious and serious sentiments attached. So we must follow the law. Law is the command of the sovereign. It must be in harmony with the society. So what is the connotation in India? Our laws are based on the societal context of our society. So in Singapore they don't allow chewing gum. So it means that they don't have liberty. Chewing gum खाने से तो किसी का positive liberty negative, वो तो basic है, मन कर गया. So they don't allow. So there are many countries where you have, you will think how absurd this is, because the level of liberty here is too much. Okay. Can anyone please add me in the group? Okay. Is it buffering? Sir, can negative. So we will see everything. We will see. See, you need to have patience. I need to have time. Then only we'll reach, if we are alive, we'll reach all the important articles and you will enjoy. Okay. Now you have equality of status and opportunity. अब जो समझदार था उसने वो पॉइंट लिख लिया जो मंडल कमीशन की रिपोर्ट है. इफ यू आर राइटिंग ऑन रिजर्वेशन यू कैन डायरेक्टली कोट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट रिपोर्ट ऑफ मंडल कमीशन. और जो रजनीकांत लेवल है उसने नहीं लिखा, मुझे याद रहेगा. Anyways, so it is equality of status and opportunity. You are quoting directly from a government report. So actually that will fetch you marks and kidney. So it is fraternity assuring the dignity of an individual and unity and integrity of the nation. So what is fraternity? What is fraternity? Please forgive me, but it is brotherhood. Okay, because every time there is a batch and they say, sir, why not sisterhood? Okay, so of course there is sisterhood, brotherhood, without a shadow of doubt, but constitution mein many places you will find he. Directly it is written, because at that time gender sensitivity was not that. So in many places in the constitution, many places, every single day I can highlight 5 instances where the constitution uses the term he. But now if the laws are made, so actually they use, for example, chairman. Vice president is the chairman of Council of State. What about a women becoming vice president? So chair, person. Now the terms that are used are gender neutral. So the Constitution of India at that time, gender sensitivity was not that. So it has evolved. So now feminism like equal rights for men and women. So it is said that women are only demanding for equality. If they demand for revenge, then 2500 years. Okay, so equality is something, and it is entrenched deep into the blood. You see that when you are talking about ab chunki sisterhood ki baat hui, somebody asked in another batch, sir, why not sisterhood? Okay, of course sisterhood and brotherhood both. So it is written in the standard text of class 4th that mother is cooking and father is going to office. So actually who decides that mother will be cooking? So this is being reinforced from the childhood only, ki mother is supposed to cook and father is supposed to. Don't you think that this is like best chefs of the world have been males? So this is gender based answers. You must be very, very sensitive, but that reflects your understanding of the question. You must be deeply, in India, deeply entrenched patriarchy is there in the blood. Many a times you are not actually conscious and you are being a patriarch. So that is something which we'll try to overcome in the time that we have got. Okay, so fraternity, what can promote fraternity? This has been discussed by Supreme Court on 16 November 1992, Indira Sahni versus Union of India. Supreme Court says fraternity can be promoted in the society by multiple ways. One, single citizenship. So in the entire country there is only one citizenship. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, सब citizen है. Getting my point? Second, by reservation fraternity. Supreme Court says that reservation can promote fraternity. Supreme Court, not me, saying reservation can promote fraternity while justifying the what you call the implementation of Mandal Commission report. Supreme Court in its judgment says that reservation can promote fraternity in India. Certain communities have less representation in services. Certain communities have more representation in services. So if they have less and more representation in services, what will happen? There will be acrimony in the group. You see, certain groups are demanding vociferously reservation because there is an inherent anger that our representation in public employment is less. So in the society, if there is equitable distribution of wealth and resources, it will lead to fraternity. So what are the provisions in the constitution that promote fraternity? You have single citizenship. You have provisions related to reservation. The Supreme Court says. You have other provisions, Article 19(1)(d), right to travel throughout the country. Article 19(1)(e), right to reside and settle anywhere in the country. These two rights can be restricted in the interest of general public or scheduled tribe, as given in later on in Article 19, that this can be restricted. So these all provisions actually promote fraternity in the society, and we think ourselves as Chak De India, as Indians. We think ourselves as Indians. And what are the provisions in the constitution? The right to travel anywhere, provision of single citizenship, reservation, inequality between the social groups should actually be reduced, so that every group has equal share in the national economic resources and other wealth of the nation. Getting my point? So this actually promotes fraternity. So fraternity and also dignity of an individual. Okay? And this integrity was added later. You know, this was added later, unity. Why? Because when on 25th June 1975, Mrs. Indira Gandhi recommended the then President of India, Mr. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, to impose national emergency. Before national emergency, there were huge protests. Okay, so there was a 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act actually amended preamble, added this socialist, secular, and also. Why they added? Because to give a message that the integrity of the country is very important. Country is of course above everything. इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. You can only speak if you have The constitution. Without constitution, in an anarchy or in what you call in a setup where your aspirations can be crushed, you cannot speak. So unity and integrity of the nation, it is emotional integrity also, territorial integrity also, political integrity also, it has multiple ramifications. So can you tell me any other provision of the constitution which actually promotes fraternity? Fraternity, भाईचारा और बहनचारा, मतलब कुछ भी, brotherhood, sisterhood. Okay. Article 39B says that the community resources shall be used for maximum good. Whatever is the resource, if there is an oil, it shall be used for maximum good. If there is a what you call coal or diamond, it shall be used for maximum good. So the resources of the country belong to everyone. We cannot directly link, but chalo, he has made a point. Article 39B. So fraternity is promoted, you can marry anyone. This was a prelims question in 2020. Right to marry anyone is under which article of the constitution? Because the same year there was a judgment, Hadia case of Kerala. Some of you may have heard of that. So there was a judgment, Supreme UPSC ne immediately question pucha. Ki right to marry, so you have a right to marry anyone, you have a right to reside and settle, you have a right to single citizenship, you have a right to travel anywhere. All these promote the idea of fraternity and feeling of Bharatiya, that is the feeling of being an Indian. Okay, irrespective of the diversity. So actually India is a land of melting pot or salad ball? Salad ball, because the cultures stay together without losing their identity. India is not actually a melting pot where all cultures lose their identity. So what was the last statement did we write? Equality of status and opportunity. We wrote this. Okay, so please write fraternity. Fraternity has been and important facet. Fraternity has been an important facet, FACET, to promote a sense of, I will not use the term brotherhood or sisterhood, a sense of Indianness and oneness. Okay, then you write the Constitution of India through various provisions actually promotes fraternity in the society. The Constitution of India through various provisions actually promote fraternity in the society. Okay, full stop. Then you write the Supreme Court in Indira Sahni case, SAWHNEY. The Supreme Court in Indira Sahni case, SAWHNEY. The Supreme Court in Indira Sahni case, SAWHNEY, ruled that the provision of reservation promotes fraternity by reducing the socio-economic gap among various sections and groups. Okay, then you write the dignity of an individual is also related to the dignity of an individual is also related to the fact that, now inverted comma में लिखिए, personality of every individual is sacred. Personality of every individual is sacred. Personality of every individual is sacred. Full stop. आगे लिखिए, the unity and integrity of the nation, the unity and integrity of the nation. Okay, you must have heard that encapsulates, मतलब includes, encapsulates. मतलब includes मतलब बस सिंपल लैंग्वेज में encapsulates both psychological and territorial integrity. Encapsulates both psychological and territorial integrity. Psychological and territorial integrity. Full stop. Then you write, no state has a right to secede from Indian Union. No state has a right to secede from Indian Union. No state has a right to secede from Indian Union. And national integration shall be promoted. No state has a right to secede from Indian Union, and national integration shall be promoted. National integration shall be promoted, transcending, yeah, overcoming, transcending, crossing, कुछ भी लिखिए. No, देखिए आपके बाजू में. Okay, so no state has a right to secede from Indian Union, and national integration is promoted, transcending कौन से barriers? What are the barriers to national integration? Regionalist barriers, linguistic, ethnic, cultural, religious, all these are. So transcending regional, linguistic, ethnic, cultural, transcending regional, linguistic, ethnic, cultural, regional, linguistic, ethnic, cultural, caste based barriers. Okay, now a very small topic. There is a term like justiciable. Okay, justiciable and deriving power. Okay, so please write justiciability of preamble and put a dash and semicolon. Justiciability of preamble. Okay, you can add one more line if you wish. Even in fundamental duties you have a duty to. We'll do it again when we do article 51A. We'll do that. ठीक है, तो इसलिए कोई बात नहीं, fraternity फिर आएगा. Okay, so you have justiciability of preamble. सुनिए, just one simple thing, that you came to me and you said कि what you call, I need a loan of 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so I said कि okay, I'll give you. I'm not promising. If I have, I'll be giving you. If I don't have, I will not be giving you. If I have after my expenses, I'll give you. ठीक है? So actually it is a statement, but it is not justiciable. On the other hand, there is a contract, Indian Contract Act 1872. You gave an offer, I accepted that offer, and I promise that, okay, you give me this thing, I'll return or whatever. Then there is an element of justiciability. If I do not follow that, you may breach, I will be, what you call, you may challenge for breach of contract. Okay, so Indian Contract Act 1872 will be. So justiciability means कि if it is two things. One, whether a power is being derived from there or not. उससे शक्तियां मिल रही हैं कि नहीं, पहला. दूसरा, whether it can be challenged in court to be forcefully implemented. जैसे डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. 2 मिनट. सो डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. अब आइए, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ जस्टिसिएबिलिटी. सो okay, to give you freedom of speech and expression, to allow you to practice your religion, to treat your life as what you call without procedure established by law, okay, to treat you equally, to abolish untouchability, okay, to not give any title, okay, and to provide right to work, provide maternity relief, early childhood care, establish village panchayat. So all, which in this do you need money? This is what Dr. Ambedkar gave a speech. I'm just trying to make it easy for you. So to allow you to speech and expression, to allow you to practice your religion, to allow procedure established by law, to treat you equally, to abolish untouchability, to not give any award or title. For this, does the state has to spend money? पैसा लगेगा इसमें? No. But if the state, कोई डाउट है? एकदम धीरे से नो बोल रहे हैं. हाँ, थोड़ा जोर से दुखी कर देते. So you have right to work, you have maternity relief, you have early childhood care, Mission Indradhanush universal immunization program, you have village panchayat. For that you need money. Yes. So Dr. Ambedkar stood. Many members were utopian. They were, ये भी ऐड कर दीजिए, ये भी ऐड कर दीजिए भैया. So so many members were utopian. Ki add these things in fundamental right. Now we have got independence. If today we will not add, when we will add? So Dr. Ambedkar stood and he said, a nation that has just awakened after 200 years of colonization, do you expect the government to provide right to work as a fundamental right, maternity benefit as a fundamental right, early childhood care as a fundamental right? From where money will come? So Dr. Ambedkar said, we will leave upon the future governments to decide the time and place of implementing these. So the rights were actually divided into two parts. One, they were justiciable. If they are breached, you can go to court. And the other, if the state will decide when and where to implement. When we got enough mal, when we got money, then what we did, one of the rights we lifted from 45 and we added in Article 21A. The state shall provide free and compulsory education to the children in the age group 6 to 14. खत्म नहीं हुआ है. In the manner state may determine by law. I'll say I need an AC classroom in a village. So state will determine what is the teacher-pupil ratio, school management committees, what should be physical punishment, economically weaker sections के लिए school में होगा कि नहीं, who will bear the financial burden. Everything is given in Right to Education Act 2009. So state shall provide free and compulsory education to the children in the age group 6 to 14, comma, in the manner state may determine by law. So the parliament has made a law. So what I am saying, when we got money, we made one of the DPSP as fundamental right. Jab state ki haisiyat, when the state have money. Now they have money. So actually justiciable are those rights which if they are not implemented, you can go to court, and non-justiciable are those rights if they are not implemented, you cannot go to court. It is upon the government. Article 37 of the Constitution says, suniye bhaiya, these directive principles are non-justiciable. Yani if the government does not implement them, you will not go to court. आप कोर्ट नहीं जा सकते, पैसा कहां से आएगा? उसके बाद कह रहा है, but they are fundamental for governance. लेकिन फिर भी गवर्नेंस के लिए वो these usul जो है, ideologies are fundamental for governance. So actually non-justiciable are those ideas. So preamble is non-justiciable. Getting my point? You cannot move to court that fraternity in the way written in preamble is not being implemented. So preamble is non-justiciable and it is not a source of power. It is not a source of power. Getting my point? And what is justiciable and what is non-justiciable? Was it practical for India to add all the DPSP in part 3? पैसा कहां से आएगा? 39 villages has electricity. Average life expectancy was hovering around 30. If there is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 children, 2 would die. Because life expectancy was 30 years. 39 villages in the country had electricity. So from there we have come here. Get it? And we'll go further by the grace of God, way ahead. So, because the soul of this country is very beautiful. It is inclusive, diverse, as well as accepting everyone. So, if the niyat is good, they will definitely prosper, and we have prospered. Maybe there are certain issues, but undoubtedly, at the end of the day, we are way better. Okay. So, the point out here is कि preamble is neither a source of power nor it is justiciable. Any doubt about that? Please write. Preamble is non-justiciable and not a source of power. Non-justiciable and not a source of power. Okay? So I see few statements which were given by the members of Constituent Assembly that you will, after going through these statements, you will understand कि कहना क्या चाहते हो. Getting my point, na, sir, kitabein. So I'll tell that. Okay, it says, one of the members said, honorable member said, the preamble to our constitution expresses what we had thought or dreamt so long. जो जो सपना हम देख रहे थे वो preamble में हमने इंश्राइन किया. Another member says that preamble is horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. Another member says preamble is the most important precious part of the constitution. It is the soul of constitution. It is a jewel set in the constitution. Another, so this is, it is actually, preamble is what summarizes the constitution. Okay. And one last thing, when was it, this question has been asked in state PSC. एकदम पूछ के 2-4 बार पूछ दिया है. When was the preamble of India adopted, enacted and came into force? So 26th day of November 1949, this we have already written. So this was preamble. Now we will be starting with part 1 of the constitution. Before starting with part 1 of the constitution, something I discussed when we met for the first time. Okay, that I'll be asking to check whether you remember or not. Is it necessary to memorize all the articles? Without a shadow iota of doubt, even a Supreme Court lawyer, you'll say 372. So he will not be able to say. Nobody on earth can say article 1 to 395 of the constitution. I am teaching, so I am doing the same thing. So every article, comma, but you are expected to know. सबसे पहली बात, whichever article is important, we will be repeating 2000 times in the class. वो अपने से याद हो जाएगा. So many times I'll be repeating it. If it will not echo in the examination hall next year, then you say to me, if you know, every year they say, sir, it echoes in the examination hall. So those 17 questions are my responsibility. And also the GS paper 2, that is polity part, that is my responsibility. That is not your responsibility. Okay, थोड़ा सा पढ़ना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? तो कभी हाँ किताब. There was another guy in the school who never bought books. Okay, so his what you call his bag had laser, ठीक है, tiffin. Sometimes he had that what you call every comic books. Okay, but everything other than books. So थोड़ा सा आपको books खरीदनी पड़ेगी, ठीक है? तो books में तो भाई confusion है. Many students are coming. Today morning we had a new batch. Okay, so he was asking Vision IS material versus Lakshmikant. So Vision IS material versus Lakshmikant is, see, what is the actual statement? Actual statement is Lakshmikant is a wonderful compilation of notes. Entire constitution from exam perspective, fact perspective has been beautifully printed. Vision IS material has everything that is there in Lakshmikant plus mains perspective. All the cases and everything. But there is a pinworm which will force you to buy Lakshmikant. Okay, so if that pinworm visits your place, you can buy Lakshmikant and refer one of the two. When you will be writing mains, then you can refer to that topic from Vision IS material and selectively lift certain, what you call it. Regarding class notes, I will not speak lies. कि they are the best on human, because I don't have time to dictate that much. I have the 5 utopian desires I have to complete. One, I have to answer all the queries. I have to incorporate current affairs. I have to start the class on time and end at 8 o'clock, and also end the syllabus on time. Meanwhile, taking all your questions. So I have 5 utopian challenges I try to balance. So I will not say that I'll be able to like dictate, but undoubtedly, everything that is not given anywhere, Supreme Court cases and on, and conceptually in a very lucid language, I will make you write. But primarily you will be referring either the Lakshmikanta vision, but attending classes will place you on a different pedestal. If you had single inch of doubt, 1% भी doubt है, go for a litmus test. After we complete a topic, you discuss with any bhaiya or any you know is knows law. Any bhaiya you knows law, or anybody who has qualified. And then you discuss on a topic and any question that has been asked in any exam of the country, then you will understand where you are standing. So if you attend classes, that will be brutally fruitful. That I can promise. I cannot say a false thing that I will dictate everything. For that I need 3-5 months of classes. So we provide you material only to reduce that. So you predominantly refer to either Lakshmikant or Vision IS depending upon your choice of selection. At the same time, attend classes. One thing which is necessary is current affairs. UPSC wants to take young students, and there is only one way in which they can take young students, by asking current affairs. Because if they start asking Article 395, 272, then those preparing since 1282, okay, so they will actually be having an edge. So current affairs should be treated as an optional. Brutal optional ki tarah treat karna. I told you about an Agmut cadre IPS. So when I was in college, he was DCP North. So later on I met him. He said that in my DAF, detailed application form for interview, मेरे दोस्तों ने कहा तू तो थिएटर करता ही है, लिख दे. So he wrote theater. And when he was invited for interview, he prepared for theater like an optional. The moment he enters the personality, first question, Greek drama. Second question, modern European theater. Third question, catharsis. So actually, what he wrote was asked also. So you treat current affairs as a, what you call current affairs actually is like namak. It will go with everything. Okay, history nahi, so it is sweet dish. Okay, so getting, otherwise current affairs ko mix kijiye class se and you will be, current affairs is something which is very important. Every question they are asking is current affairs. How do you think Indus Valley civilization's town planning can be incorporated in modern urban planning? So ये question तो history का है, पूछ रहे हैं current. How globalization affects old age population? So history में भी डाल रहे हैं current affairs. So namak is like necessary. So you have to take current affairs very seriously and newspaper. Okay, so that is something. Prelims मेरी responsibility है. Sir, what are the sources for prelims? Different. Negative and positive liberty. Negative liberty is that part of liberty which the state cannot interfere, what you eat, what you practice, what you say. Positive liberty is expansion of your mind, horizon. Okay, now I told you that this is the constitution. This is the constitution, okay? So constitution is divided into parts. Every part deals with a particular अच्छा टॉपिक. एक ने आर्टिकल बोला, एक ने AR बोला, बाकी ने टिकल्स बोल दिया. Okay, so it is like, for example, you have part 1. So whenever you make the constitution of any country, first thing what you will say, you will write in Article 395, this constitution is about India. Huh? So the first part should deal with union and territory. किस country का ये constitution है? So you have union and territory. After land has been established, now the human beings creating so much problem for the world, other species कितना गाली देते होंगे आपस में मिलके कि कहां से आ गए ये लोग. So you have union and territory, then you have citizens. So we are so citizens, and then you have fundamental rights. And so actually a part deals with a particular topic, and inside the part you have articles. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3 and Article 4. So the first part that we shall be doing is part 1 of the constitution dealing with union and its territory. Okay, that we have to do. Okay? So Article 1 of the Constitution we will see, हम देखेंगे. Okay. Article 1 of the Constitution says, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. So, this is part 1. ठीक है, एकदम clear. So, this is part 1. Part 1 के अंदर you have Article 1, and Article 1, part 1 as union and its territory. Okay. So, it says India, you are not required to do 1 to 95, 395, but what all are important we'll do. At least 51A tak to we will dissect and assassinate each of them. So you have India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. Okay, so India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state. So what is the first message that is being conveyed about our beautiful country? That is, the name of this country is India and Bharat. Since there was a disagreement in Constituent Assembly whether the name should be India or Bharat, so as a compromise between the members, a consensus was reached कि नाम दोनों रखते हैं. India also and Bharat also. So India in Hindi does not mean Bharat. Bharat has an absolute different historical connotation. It has a different Bharatvarsh, and India has an Indus, you know, Indus and Sindhu. You have read about India. One of the best introduction that I have read is R.S. Sharma's India's Ancient Past. In that Oxford wali book, NCERT has been published in Oxford publication, same book actually. So introduction mein he has written some 12-15 pages about India. That is a very beautiful compilation about our country, ethnic, linguistic, cultural, religious and other diversities, geographical. He has said. So you have this. Okay. So why are some words in capital letter? अरे heading है तो capital letter होगा ना. हाँ. सबका मालिक एक है. So India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. So what is the name of this country? India. Our beautiful country is India as well as Bharat. Shall be a union of states. Okay. So shall. So it shall compulsory be a union of states. So what is another term that can be used? It can be a federation of states. Okay. Why this term was not used? We'll come to that now. Although federalism is a beautiful topic, we'll have 3 hours only on federalism. Only on federalism. तो अभी वो 3 आवर अभी नहीं आएगा, वो आएगा समय के साथ. अब ये कह रहा है the states and the territories shall be specified in first schedule. You tell me, I said India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. Okay. Which states? Melbourne, Canberra, Perth, Texas, California or Madhya Pradesh, United States of Bihar or Rajasthan? Huh? Which state? So we must specify ना कि which state. Other without specifying कैसे कह सकते हैं India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state? Which state? Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Jammu Kashmir and Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya, Jharkhand or Texas, California, Miami, North Dakota, South Dakota, Alaska. कौन सा state? So India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state. इस state को define किया schedule 1 में. So in first schedule of the constitution you have the list of states and union territories. Whenever a new state is created, which schedule will be amended? First, जब Jammu Kashmir was a state, now it is a union territory. So one state deleted from the list of states in first schedule and it was added to Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh as 2 union territories. When Telangana in 2019 as a landlocked 29th state of India was created, so schedule 1 was amended. List of state में 28 नंबर के बाद एक नाम जोड़ा तेलंगाना. When Jammu Kashmir, so 28 29 बन गया, 28 और सारे numbers change हो गए and then UTs में you added Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh. So it says that the states and the territories shall be specified in first schedule of the Constitution. Okay. I'll deal with this, don't worry. Now it says the territory of India shall comprise of. Now this question also is like old question. So many times it has asked the difference between union of states and territory of India. You see it says that India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. यहाँ कह रहा है territory of India shall comprise territories of the states, union territories is specified in the first schedule, and other territories as may be acquired. So one question which has been asked in n number of times UPSC and other exams, that ki what is the territory of India is a broader term than union of states. If I make this a statement, it is a true statement or a false statement? That the territory of India is a broader term than the term union of states. Is it a true statement? Why this is a true statement? Because territory of India includes states, union territories and other territories that may be acquired time to time. So the territory of India is a broader term than the term union of states. Why? Because union of states में सिर्फ states है और territory of India में union territories or other territories that may be acquired also form part of it. So this question has been asked, okay, that the term territory of India is a broader term than union of states. Okay, so this is a true statement. Now federalism is like a very beautiful topic, but from UPSC perspective you will be asked a question of 250 words or 150 words, 10 marker or 15 marker or 12.5 marker. So utna research nahi karna. What is required from UPSC point of view, you have to get it, what you call, we must know that. Okay, now you see, so one term that was used, okay, so आर्टिकल 1 में टर्म यूज हुआ है इंडिया दैट इज भारत शैल बी अ यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स. देख, सिंस इंडिया, व्हाट इज इंडिया? इंडिया इज, व्हाट इज इंडिया? अ यूनियन ऑफ states. So the states must be there for India to happen. It is written India, that is Bharat, shall. Shall means compulsorily be union of states. So there cannot be a situation where there is no state because the term shall has been used. And on 11th March 1994, S.R. Bomai versus Union of India, Supreme Court ने rule कर दिया federalism is the basic structure of the constitution. So states always have to be there. Okay. Now the point is कि federalism. Okay. So one term that could have been used instead of the term union of states, they could have used the term federal of states. Okay. So Dr. Ambedkar described this in Constituent Assembly, and this question has been asked also, that why we opted for the term union of states rather than the term federal of states. So now you need to understand. Okay. For that, I am very bad at drawing, don't mind. Okay. So this is North America. Okay. North America में अभी ऐसे ही चल रहा है, ठीक है. This is Mexico. Then you have Shiv Narayan Chand Paul. And then you have United States of America, and then you have Canada. Okay. बीच में है जहां कौन सी जहाज डूबी थी? टाइटैनिक. Okay. So you have North America, Atlantic Ocean, and then you have Europe. Okay. In the Western Europe you have countries. Okay. So you have European countries. All of them were, many of them were colonizers. Okay, Portuguese, Dutch. So most of the time they used to cross Atlantic and colonize United States. So 13 colonies of United States of America, 13 colonies. अभी USA में कितना है भाई? 50 states plus Washington District of Columbia, Washington DC. There are 50 states, and there is the federal capital of United States of America, that is Washington District of Columbia, that does not come under any state. In India, you have Article 239, capital letter AA, that is National Capital Territory of Delhi. So Delhi is a union territory also, and it is also the national capital of India. But in USA, you have 50 states plus Washington District of Columbia with DC, which does not come under any state. It is a separate entity as the federal capital of United States of America. So you have, hota kya tha? All these European powers used to attack USA. So they were fed up. So 13 colonies, they signed an agreement कि we will establish United States of America. United States of America, and then we will establish United States of America, and in that we will establish a strong federal government. एक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बनाएंगे बहुत ही स्ट्रांग. We will make a very strong central government and give them powers of defense, external affairs and communication. Ki if tomorrow if the Western European colonizers attack us, the federal government will be empowered to actually repel that attack. So United States of America was a result of agreement among 13 colonies. It was a United States of America is nothing but a result of agreement among 13 colonies. And these 13 colonies came together, uske baad dispute hua. Some scholars started saying if you will establish we will see federalism for 3 hours. Abhi simple language mein samajhiye, federalism is a setup in which there is a state government and a central government. In very simple language, lucid language, एक ऐसा setup जहां एक central government है और अलग अलग state government है, and both of them are deriving their power from the constitution. ये बहुत important बात है. क्यों? It is not a situation where, like in Japan, it is not a federal, but there are 47 administrative units. Whenever the central government want, it can dismantle. So it is not necessary that the state should exist. It is also necessary that the state and center should derive their existence from a constitution. So constitution bestows power upon state as well as center. So federalism एक simple setup है, and central government is called by different name. In India it is called union government. In Tamil Nadu recently raised objection over the use of term central, because the state of chief minister of Tamil Nadu said central means centralizing tendency. So we will better use the term union government, but in government literature also you have central government. Okay, so constitution predominantly uses the term union government. So there is a union government. In USA it is federal government. So in India we have Central Bureau of Investigation, central government ki investigative bureau. Central Bureau of Investigation is the Bureau of Investigation of central government. In USA you have Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, that is the federal government's Bureau of Investigation. So in USA 13 colonies came together and they established United States of America. पहले 13 colonies थी, अब हो गई 50. Other छोटे, they all came together and later on joined the agreement, and now there are 50 states plus Washington District of Columbia. There is a federal government, that is the central government or the union government, and there are also state governments. Now, how did USA came into being? USA बना कैसे? United States of America. USA came into being by an agreement among the states. वो एक कागज का टुकड़ा है ना? Huh? So there was an agreement signed. In that agreement, initially 13 colonies signed, and later on other colonies added. So now there are 50. So USA came into being by an agreement among the states. So the term that was used at that time for agreement was feedus. Latin term, that is FOEDUS. So at that time, the term that was used for agreement was feedus, which later on went to be known as federal. जैसे term evolve करता है ना? You have OK, then you have K. So now it is, terms are evolving na. So actually the 13 states coming together form. So what is the literature that actually made United States? When 13 colonies of North America felt that if we will not stay together, Western European powers would attack us and we will not be able to do anything. So let's have a common army, let's have a common communication, let's have a common defense, external affairs. And we will establish a central government. We will give only those powers which is necessary to repel attack from Western Europe. We'll give it defense, external affairs and communication. And we will keep all health, education, irrigation, all other powers with us. And they all came together and signed an agreement. Ek agreement signed kiya. Since the term that was used for agreement at that time was feedus. Feedus ka matlab hota hai agreement, which later on evolved to be called as federal. So Dr. Ambedkar stood on the dais of Constituent Assembly. This was early days. He said, we will not use the term federal in the constitution. Why? If we use the term federal in the constitution, it will give a wrong message. Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Rajasthan will think that India is a result of agreement between Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Bihar. India is not a result of agreement. The idea of India is more than 2000 years old. The feeling of oneness is years old. So India is not a result of agreement among the state. India is a result of an idea of India which is pervading since 2000 years. यहाँ के लोग अपने को एक समझते हैं. Irrespective of diversity, they treat themselves as one. So since India was not a result of any agreement among the states, and to repel any confusion, they avoided the use of term federal. Okay, but Supreme Court said ki okay, good. The Constitution of India is not using the term federal. But even without using the term federal, federalism is like honesty. It is a feature which exists, but you cannot What is the color of honesty? No color exist karti hai. Yes, so it is actually a punctuality, discipline. What is the color of discipline? There is no color, still it is existing. So federalism is like, you are getting my point. Federalism is like that feature of the constitution which actually is existing, but it is getting, so it is, we'll see federalism for 3 hours, all legislative, executive will dissect. But now you understand, Dr. Ambedkar said, I will deliberately not use the term federal in Article 1 because it will give a wrong message that India is a result of agreement among the states. First point. Second point, he said, if there is an agreement, I can come out of agreement. अगर मैं अपनी सहमति से agreement में घुसा तो मैं अपनी agreement withdraw कर सकता हूं. So Dr. Ambedkar said the second thing, कि if there is an agreement, you can come out of agreement. So no state has a right to secede from the union. Since the term federal, if we use the term federal means agreement, it will mean an agreement. So India is a result of agreement, which India is not. India is not a result of agreement. India इसलिए नहीं बना कि मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान और बिहार को मन किया. India did not come into existence because Rajasthan, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh felt like. India is a result of long drawn battle for freedom. And the idea of India that is surviving for more than 2000 years, and the people of India who think themselves to be one. So we will not use the term federal, we will use the term union. And in an agreement, no state has a right to secede from the union. In an agreement, you can come out of agreement. But I will not allow any state to come out. No state has, and if we use the term federal, there will be a confusion. Ki states have a right to come out of the. So we will avoid using the term federal, we will use the term union of states. We will have the features of federalism, but without explicitly using the term federal. Now the next question. Some scholars ask, India is an indestructible union. यानी जो यूनियन की बाउंड्री है वो तोड़ी नहीं जा सकती है. India is an indestructible union of destructible states. India is an indestructible union of destructible states. Jammu Kashmir, a state, destruct into two, Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Bihar and Jharkhand. UP and Uttarakhand. You have what you call Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. So India is an indestructible union of destructible states. So the union is indestructible, but the states are destructible. We will see how they are destructible, we'll see in further articles. But India is an indestructible union of destructible states. Again, this question has been asked, that India is an indestructible union से कोई अलग नहीं हो सकता है, लेकिन it is an indestructible union of destructible states. Now USA is an indestructible union of destructible states. Indestructible states. Sorry. So somebody asked me a question in one of the batches, कि India, US, sir, if India is an indestructible union of destructible states, so states can be changed. But why USA is an indestructible union of indestructible states? Why the states cannot come out? वहां तो agreement हुआ था. USA में तो the states joined at their own will. So the union being indestructible, some state can come out of the union. Some state can come out. So I went to a judgment of US Supreme Court, Texas versus federal government. US Supreme Court has interpreted कि no, they do not have a right to secede until extreme circumstances. So actually it is an interpretation of US Supreme Court which has made United States of America as an indestructible union. And USA is an indestructible union. So out of 50 states, no state can come out of the union. Indestructible union of indestructible states. मतलब सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जो फेडरल गवर्नमेंट है, पहले हिंदी में बोलूंगा, वो स्टेट्स की 1 इंच बाउंड्री को चेंज नहीं कर सकती है. सो इंडिया में, इंडिया इज एन इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन. कोई स्टेट इंडिया से बाहर नहीं जा सकता. ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्टेबल स्टेट्स की बाउंड्री को चेंज किया जा सकता है. यूएसए एक इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन है, कोई स्टेट यूएसए से बाहर नहीं जा. ऑफ इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल स्टेट्स, सेंटर भी यूएस स्टेट की बाउंड्री को 1 इंच चेंज नहीं कर सकती है. सो इंडिया इज एन इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्टेबल स्टेट्स. यूएसए इज एन इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन ऑफ इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल स्टेट्स. कि यूनियन गवर्नमेंट फ्लोरिडा, टेक्सास, मियामी, कैलिफोर्निया, न्यूयॉर्क, अलास्का, कोई भी स्टेट की बाउंड्री को 1 इंच भी चेंज नहीं कर सकती है. सो व्हाट ऑल थिंग्स वी हैव लर्नड? इंडिया, दैट इज भारत, शैल बी अ यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स. व्हाई वी ऑप्टेड फॉर द टर्म यूनियन ओवर द टर्म Federal. Although the idea of federalism has been ruled by Supreme Court as the basic structure of the constitution. Next, the territory of India is a broader term than the term union of states, because union of states में सिर्फ states है और territory of India में union territories and other territories acquired भी हैं. Next, where the list of states and UTs are mentioned. It is in the first schedule of the constitution. You have the list of states and union. If tomorrow, as the Honorable Prime Minister on record has stated 3 times that we will revert Jammu Kashmir to a state when the violence comes to an end at an appropriate time, the same has been reiterated by Honorable Home Minister Amit Chand Shah ji also. So if tomorrow the Parliament of India makes Jammu Kashmir again a state, then which schedule we will be amending? We will amend Schedule 1, jahan Union Territory likha hua hai. We will remove Jammu and Kashmir and we will add it as the state. So which schedule contains? Okay, Ladakh. Ladakh is a different case. Ladakh is Ladakh. It is the land of snow. The Dak, land of snow. And in Ladakh you have Ladakh is a geographical term. Now it has become a political term by creation of a union territory. There are 2 districts, Leh and Kargil. Leh is the commercial spot where you have the commercial airport. Kargil is at a higher level. Most of the tourism takes place in Leh, and also some adventurous, they go higher. Okay, so you have Leh and Kargil. And this is actually, and you have Leh and Kargil, different autonomous hill councils also. So Ladakh will be the same because they are ethnically, linguistically and culturally different from Jammu and Kashmir region. So they have a separate way of life, and there was a long pending demand that in all this issue why Ladakh was like suffering. So they have a separate union territory which will continue. If Jammu Kashmir becomes a state, then definitely Schedule 1 of the constitution shall be amended. So India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state. Why we opted for the term union over the term federal? India is an indestructible union of indestructible states or destructible states. And USA is an indestructible union of indestructible states. And where are the list of states and union territories? It is in the first schedule of the constitution. Federalism actually honesty hai. Kuch cheeze, if you find certain features, you will say, okay, this is federal. And we discuss this when we do federalism as a separate topic for more than one class. We will see that Constitution of India is both federal as well as unitary. If you must have heard, many of you must have heard, kuch feature dekhte hain Constitution ka. Dekhiye, 7th schedule, independent judiciary, written constitution, you say it is federal. The moment you turn to single citizenship, all India services, office of CAG, you say it is unitary. So it has both unitary and federal features. That is why Indian constitution is called as sui generis. Yani one of its own, that is unique. It has both federal features as well as. And finally, one very beautiful, I was presenting a paper comparing Indian federalism with that of Canadian federalism. Okay, so then one very beautiful line, ki there is no agreed definition of federalism. Separation of power one person has given. His name is Montesquieu in one book called as Spirit of Laws. There is no agreed definition of federalism. If a country is said to be more closer than Australia, Switzerland and USA, is said to be more federal. There is no one person which has given the theory of federalism. Only after the seeing of Constitution of USA, people have understood that this can be a model of federalism. So Australia, Switzerland and USA are said to be the epitome of federalism. Any country more close is said to be more federal. So there is no agreed definition. Scholars have diverse views. Simple definition is there. But separation of power का तो agreed definition है. एक व्यक्ति ने दिया है. One person has given. Montesquieu in his book Spirit of Laws. And one last thing. There is a difference between division of powers and separation of powers. Center और state के बीच में जो होगा, that is division of powers, which is federalism. और Delhi में you have Supreme Court, Delhi में you have Council of Ministers, and Delhi में you have Parliament at the same level. So is it horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. So separation of power is horizontal, while division of power, union and state, it is vertical. So in Lucknow you will have State Legislative Assembly, Council of Ministers and Lucknow bench of Allahabad High Court. So it is there, all the things. It is horizontal, that is separation of power, and division of power, that is vertical. You cannot club them. And this is not written. This is actually an inference for you to understand. And there is no agreed definition. Scholars have certain agreed point कि अगर ये पाया जाएगा तो बच्चे को federal बुलाएंगे.
If these features are found, we will call it a federal. Okay, so you write part 1, union and its territory. Union and its territory. So you say अब फेडरल पे नहीं जाएंगे, फेडरल पे इसलिए नहीं जाएंगे क्योंकि ग्रैनविल, ऑस्टिन, सुनिए, जितने स्कॉलर्स हैं, ग्रैनविल, ऑस्टिन, आइवॉर जेनिंग्स, केसी वियर, ऑल द स्कॉलर्स हैव इंटरप्रेटेड इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन थ्रू देयर ओन प्रिज्म. कोई कहता है कॉसी फेडरल है, कोई कहता है सुई जेनरिस है, कोई कहता है कोऑपरेटिव फेडरल है, कोई कहता है फेडरल विथ यूनिटरी बायस है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कुछ नहीं कहता है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट सिर्फ कहता है फेडरलिज्म इज द, different scholars have different opinions. Supreme Court in S.R. Bomai versus Union of India says federalism is the basic structure of the constitution. Now you write part 1, union and its territory. Okay, please write article 1 of the constitution. Article 1 of the constitution provides for, Article 1 of the Constitution provides for India, that is Bharat, put a dash and write India, that is Bharat, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. इसलिए क्योंकि एट दैट टाइम देयर वर नो यूनियन टेरिटरीज. देयर वाज पार्ट ए, बी, सी, डी. It was only through 7th constitutional amendment that part A, C, D was done away. We will see that. Okay, that is why they were added. India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. क्योंकि जब state लिखा था उस वक्त सिर्फ states थे. UT का concept 7th constitutional amendment by 1956 has come. Right further. The name of the country is India as well as Bharat. The name of the country is India as well as Bharat. The name of the country is India as well as Bharat. Full stop. Then you write Dr. Ambedkar stated the reason behind Dr. Ambedkar stated the reason behind Dr. Ambedkar stated the reason behind using the term union of states over Dr. Ambedkar stated the reason behind using the term union of states over federation of states. Dr. Ambedkar stated the reason behind using the term union of states over federation of states. Using the term union of states over federation of states because of following reasons. A, the term federal means agreement. The term federal means agreement. And the term federal means agreement, and it has evolved from the term feudus, F-O-E-D-U-S. The term federal means agreement, and it has evolved from the term feudus, F-O-E-D-U-S. Full stop. In USA, it has evolved from the term feudus, F-O-E-D-U-S. लिख दिए? हाँ सेकंड, अब उसको इसी में लिखिए, सेकंड लिखिए बस, ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. यू हैव टू बी आत्मनिर्भर, जैसे आपको सही लगे वैसे. मैं तो चाहता हूं कि मैं बस बोलूं, आप लिखे, बस पॉइंट बोलूं. आप सीखेंगे कैसे? हाँ, क्योंकि मैं तो दूसरे तरह, ये सब और डिक्टेशन जो चीज दी हुई है उसको तो मैं कर, पर समाज की मजबूरी है. What is the last thing? Okay. In USC, the class should be to learn. So what is given in the printed form, exactly what I am repeating, what I am dictating is exactly given. But we have a convention कि जो दिख रहा है बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, फिर लास्ट में you'll see, then you'll go to sleep, you'll see कितना अच्छा नोट्स है, कल पढ़ेंगे. So getting my point. So इसीलिए उसी अच्छा फील कराने के लिए मैं डिक्टेट करा रहा हूँ, वरना same thing has been given in your vision as it is in verbatim same thing any teacher dictates is given in your material. Okay, हाँ बताइए. So you have the liberty to think and decide. So what was the last statement you wrote? In USA the country came into being. In USA, the country came into being through an agreement among 13 colonies. Through an agreement among 13 colonies. Through an agreement among 13 colonies. Okay. Now, some questions are coming unnecessary. एकदम last level का philosophical question जो Supreme Court decide करेगा. Can USA give its territory in an industrial? UPSC syllabus में कह रहा है general understanding of constitution. ठीक है. और वो question जो last, getting my point, many times those questions don't exist also. So what was the last time? USA is a result of an agreement among 13 colonies, but underline from now, India is not a result of agreement among states. India is not a result of agreement among states. India is not a result of agreement among states. Okay, next you write the India is not a result of agreement among states. Next you write the states do not have right to secede from the union. The states do not have right to secede. 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 The states do not have right to secede from the union. Okay? Comma, coming out of an agreement. Coming out of an agreement. So state cannot come out of a union and secede from the union. Why? Because India is not a result of agreement among the states. Write, change the line and write a concluding statement. Thus, India is an indestructible union of Thus, India is an indestructible union of destructible states. Thus, India is an indestructible union of destructible states. While India is an indestructible union of destructible states, while USA is very good. Indestructible union of indestructible states. Please write. Indestructible union of indestructible states. Okay. Next point you write. We'll write from the Constitution. So you have what you call the states and the territories are specified in, please write, the names of the states and territories. The names of the states and union territories. The names of the states and union territories are specified in where? First schedule of the Constitution. The names of the states and union territories are specified in first schedule of the Constitution. Okay. Next point, please write, dear students. the territory of India is a wider term. The territory of India is a wider term. The territory of India is a wider term than Union of States. Please write. The territory of India is a wider term than Union of States because Union of States only includes states, while Union of States only includes states, while TOI, territory of India, always remember, all is well जैसे काम आया था पूरी प्रिपरेशन में निमोनिक्स काम आएगा. Without mnemonics, you will be learning so many facts. For example, in mains, हर चीज का 5 पॉइंट. Way forward. कैसे याद रहेगा? Possible. Somebody is God gifted. So you have to develop the art of mnemonics. कि उसके पहले जैसे 7 recommendations है, सबका कुछ कोड, चीट कोड बना के अपना, जैसे she killed the sweet leader, slave खिलजी तुगलक सईद लोधी. Medieval में they gave like this, slave खिलजी तुगलक सईद लोधी. So she killed the sweet leader. हो गया खत्म. So अब कभी भी पूछे, I gave a code on 9th October, I was teaching in a batch, पंचायती राज का I said write bag L. बलवंत मेहता कमेटी, अशोक मेहता कमेटी, जीवी के राव कमेटी, LM संघवी. 10 अक्टूबर को पूछ दिया यूपीपीएससी में कि चारों कमेटी को एकदम सेम फ्रॉक पहनाकर दे दिया और बोला कि इसको विच कमेटी क्रोनोलॉजी अरेंज कीजिए. एंड नेक्स्ट डे व्हेन आई केम, फुल पोर्टल वाज फुल. Okay, same back queue, you have to learn through mnemonics. That is something which is going to help you. Code बनाकर, कोई भी code जैसे भी ऐसे code लोग बनाते हैं, that is very personal. So getting my point. So but you have to remember the fact that is a way. Okay. So what was the last statement? जोर से आप बोलिए. जी. While territory of India includes states, union territories, and other territories as may be acquired. States, union territories and other territories as may be acquired. पूछिए. बिल्कुल नहीं जा सकते हैं. अपने से देंगे. अपने से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट करके पार्लियामेंट देगी. वो भी स्टेट नहीं. अगर वो इफ पार्लियामेंट विल गिव बाय इटसेल्फ, वी आर अ सॉवरेन कंट्री. वी गेव 111 enclaves टू बांग्लादेश, दे गेव 51 enclaves टू अस. So we can shell off a land boundary, and that too the Supreme Court will see whether it is within the constitutional limits or not. A sovereign country in a ideological framework cannot be stopped from giving away land, but that doesn't mean that central will keep giving. No state can actually take violent measure and claim to secede. So there is a brutal difference between अपनी मर्जी से देना और किसी स्टेट का डिमांड करना कि हम अलग हो सकते हैं. And this is actually an ideological framework. A sovereign country can give away land just to let it being called as sovereign. Otherwise, no sovereign country will give land other than Russia, which was so big that it was impossible to contain Alaska. तो यूएस को 2 सेंट में बेच दिया. बाद में पता चला सारे नेचुरल गैस वही हैं. Russia is 11 time zones. 11 time zones. 10% of the global area is Russia. संभल रहा नहीं था अलास्का. एंड व्हाट इज द स्ट्रेट बिटवीन रशिया एंड नॉर्थ अमेरिका? बेरिंग स्ट्रेट. बेच दिया. और बाद में अलास्का में दे फाउंड एस्किमोज एंड शेल गैस. ओके, सो द पॉइंट इज कि इसीलिए सो सॉवरेनिटी का आइडियोलॉजिकल फ्रेमवर्क है. दे कैन गिव अवे लैंड, बट व्हाई विल अ सॉवरेन कंट्री गिफ्ट लैंड? हाँ, if there is a land boundary, what you call giving away of land, then there should be a constitutional amendment. We will deal this again in Article 3. अभी आएंगे तब करेंगे. ठीक है? Right article. Now this is a very simple article. What is important is this, which we will see. Okay, so this is very simple. Parliament may by law लॉ मतलब ऑर्डिनरी मेजोरिटी. क्यों? क्योंकि आर्टिकल 4 में लिखा हुआ, इट इज रिटन इन आर्टिकल 4, एनीथिंग डन इन आर्टिकल 2 and 3 विल बी डन नॉट थ्रू अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट, विल नॉट बी डीम्ड टू बी अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट. सो पार्लियामेंट मे बाय लॉ एडमिट इनटू इंडियन यूनियन और एस्टैब्लिश न्यू स्टेट्स ऑन सच टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन इट मे डीम फिट. गौर से सुनिए, सनसनी. और all those states which are not part of Indian Union, all those states which are not part of Indian Union, or a piece of land in Bay of Bengal that is actually not a political entity. So Parliament may by law admit those states into Indian Union which are not part of Indian Union or establish new states. मतलब a piece of land को एक state बनाकर establish करना on terms and condition it may think fit. So article 2, but the most important article in part 1 without a shadow of doubt is article 3, which deals with the creation, abolition of state, union territories, reorganization of India, Fazle Ali Commission, Dhar Commission, JVP Commission. That is article 3, which is the most important. This is just, you please write. So this is talking about those states. 2 और 3 में सबसे बड़ा अंतर क्या है? 2 is dealing with those states which are not part of India. So any state which is not part of India, Parliament can admit it into Indian Union, or any piece of land which is not a political entity, it can be established in a new state on terms and condition Parliament deem fit. So please write. And this is talking about which only question which has been asked, ki this article 2 and 3 mein, this is talking about those states which are not part of India. And this is talking about internal adjustments within the country. Please write. Parliament may by law Parliament may by law admit into Indian Union, Parliament may by law admit into Indian Union, Parliament may by law admit into Indian Union or establish new states, Parliament may by law admit into Indian Union or establish new states on such terms and condition it thinks. Parliament may by law admit into Indian Union or establish new states on such terms and condition it thinks fit. Okay, is there a doubt about that? Please write in bracket. Write in bracket, this is mentioning about those states which are NOT capital letters mein. This is mentioning about those states which are not part of India. Not part of India. While article 3 deals with, please write, this difference can be asked. While article 3 deals with those states which are part of India. Since so many of you have requested ki sir we will not go for break, so I respect your views. Okay. So so we'll go, don't worry. So I cannot make you sad na, you all are students. Okay, so it is Parliament. So article 3 is brutally important. How a new state is created, diagram bana ke batayenge. Telangana kaise bana. Okay, so we'll see that after the break. 10 minutes, 7 minutes is you start coming in. Okay, so rest conversation post class. Welcome back students, let's start. Okay. So 10 मिनट हो गया ना अभी. एवरीथिंग इज टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड. आई शो यू लाइक झूठ वहां जहां कुछ स्कोप है झूठ का. तो सी द पॉइंट इज हाउ अ न्यू स्टेट इज क्रिएटेड. फर्स्ट वील सी. ओके, so how a new state is created? Okay, So how a new state is created? This is given in Article 3 of the Constitution. Okay. This also includes how a new union territory is created. We'll see everything. Who can create a new state? Not parliament, only parliament. Okay. Only parliament. So first, which ministry actually deals with all these internal adjustments? Home Ministry. Okay. So Ministry of Home Affairs actually deals with all these things. So Home Ministry will actually draft a bill. Draft a bill. Okay. What is the difference between bill and act? Until and unless that proposed law has been signed by the president, it is bill. The moment it is signed, it becomes act. Many a times you will see 127th Constitution Amendment Bill, which becomes 105th Constitutional Amendment Act. So when the bill was presented, it was 127th bill, but it became 105th Act. Why? Because this was 127th time attempt was made to amend the constitution, but 22 times either the bill lapsed or Lok Sabha dissolved, bill lapsed, or it could not get passed. So every time, for example, 64th Constitutional Amendment Bill was introduced by Rajiv Gandhi ji's government in Lok Sabha to actually bring for PRIs, Panchayati Raj, but the bill could not get passed. So it will be counted here, but it will not be counted here. 127 times in the history of India, a law has been proposed to amend the constitution, but actually it has been passed only by one. So next time if there is an amendment bill, it will be 128th Amendment Bill and 105th Amendment Act. हो सकता है 128th Amendment Bill could not get passed. So it could not get passed. So next to next would be 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill and 106th Constitutional Amendment Act, because 128th Constitutional Amendment Bill was introduced but it could not get passed. That is why some of you get confused कि कहीं कहीं लिखा है 127th Constitutional Amendment Bill और same ही bill को some places they have written 105th Constitutional Amendment Act. So actually this is the distinction. You should not get confused. And what is important for us? Act और bill? बिल आता रहता है, जब तक एक्ट नहीं बनेगा तो इसीलिए दे विल आस्क अबाउट एक्ट. सो यू शुड रिमेंबर व्हाट इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट. ओके, सो नाउ देयर इज नोडल मिनिस्ट्रीज, होम मिनिस्ट्री विच ड्राफ्ट्स अ बिल. ओके, which drafts the bill, and then the constitution of C, they will ask basic questions. Believe me, what all questions you are asking in the wildest of dreams UPSC will not ask. कि whether USA होगा कि नहीं, what is the they will just ask brief why do we use union of states and these basic things. You're getting my point? They will ask basics. So now how a new state is created? First, Ministry of Home Affairs will draft a bill. Then any bill that seeks to alter the boundary of a state, diminish the area of a state, create a new state, create any such bill has to seek the approval of president before introducing in either house of the parliament. You are getting this? समझ में आ रहा है? Okay, so the bill shall be referred to the honorable president for his permission to actually introduce the bill in the house. President's permission. Okay, so actually you need the permission of the president to what you call introduce the bill in the house. So ministry will draft the bill, it will refer the bill to president to seek his permission. ये constitutional compulsion है, ये option नहीं है. This is not an option. This is I will show you Article 3 also. This is a constitutional compulsion. Any bill that seeks to alter the boundary of a state or create a new state has to be recommended to the has to be introduced only on the recommendation of president. Now president also has a constitutional compulsion. Any bill that seeks to alter the boundary of a state or is affecting any state, the bill has to be referred to the state legislature. उस प्रेसिडेंट को परमिशन देने से पहले, बिफोर गिविंग परमिशन टू होम मिनिस्ट्री टू इंट्रोड्यूस द बिल इन पार्लियामेंट, प्रेसिडेंट हैज टू seek the opinion of that particular state which is going to affected by the bill or states. if 3 states actually make up a state, 3 state को थोड़ा थोड़ा काट कर, cutting करके new state you are creating, the bill will be referred to the legislative assembly of all the 3 states. So the bill will be referred to the state legislature. अब एक क्वेश्चन गया सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास कि स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर मींस लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली और लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, कियोटो होलाहन वर्सेस जचिलचू. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा नहीं नहीं, all these matters it will be state legislative assembly, there is no need to send. If the opinion of state legislative council is given, very good, but the opinion of state legislative assembly only will matter and it only has to give opinion. So the point here is MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, will draft a bill, it will send the bill to President for his permission to introduce the bill. President will sell the bill to the state legislature. State legislature actually will give its opinion on the bill. And it is, first thing is written, it will give it is compulsory to take the opinion of state legislature. ये compulsory है. You have to take the opinion. क्या हुआ? So किसने no की? हाँ. सुनिए, it is compulsory to take the opinion of the state legislature. Okay, so there India has diversity, biodiversity actually. So you have, it is compulsory to take the opinion of the state legislature. Okay, now the opinion rendered by the state legislature is not binding on the president. The opinion rendered is not binding. Taking opinion is binding. It's like नाराज हो गए तो क्या कर लोगे? So getting my point. So it is, taking opinion is a constitutional compulsion. Abiding by that opinion is not a constitutional compulsion. This is written in constitution, I will show you. So you have to take the opinion of state legislature which is actually getting affected by the bill, but it is not binding. The opinion rendered by the state legislature is not binding. Another thing that is there, कि if the bill is referred to state legislature, which state legislature will want to be bifurcated? If there is an underdeveloped area that want to be carved out as a new state, so the bigger state will allow that area to go. No, there will be huge protest. Any opinion rendered by the state legislature is not binding and it has to be given within a time frame. Otherwise, what they will do, they will not give an opinion, and for indefinite period the creation of state can be postponed. So giving that opinion in a time frame specified by the president. President time बता देंगे 10 दिन के अंदर देना है, दीजिए नहीं दीजिए, I will give go ahead to the bill. Within time frame opinion is not binding, सिर्फ पूछा जाएगा भाई राय क्या है और कुछ भी नहीं. And if the bill is introduced in parliament, any subsequent amendment is made to the bill to what it was actually drafted by MHA, then also it will not be referred to the state legislature for the second time. No second time. Original bill will be sent, no second time. After that, after receiving the opinion of the state legislature, now the president will inform the ministry, and the ministry will actually, minister will introduce the bill in which house? Either house. What is either? Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. And then Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha will pass the bill by SIMPLE, simple majority. So can the union parliament create a state without it, bifurcate a state without its will? Can the union parliament divide the state of Uttar Pradesh into 5 parts without its will? Acha. It will refer the bill to UP Legislative Assembly. UP Legislative Assembly will say we don't want to bifurcate. Opinion is not binding. President will give go ahead. Bill will be introduced in parliament and by simple majority UP will be bifurcated into 5 states. So can the union parliament bifurcate the state without its permission? Yani the existence of state is, this is actually one of the weakest link of Indian federalism. The very existence of state is dependent upon the center. They cannot do anything. Okay, you are getting my point. Now you have schedules in the constitution. Schedules kya hai basically? explanation sort of, there are laws also, but for general understanding. So fourth schedule of the constitution has seats in Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha mein fourth schedule of the constitution has seats in Rajya Sabha. UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Okay. Fourth schedule has the seats. So whenever Telangana is carved out of Andhra Pradesh, fourth schedule has to be amended or not? अगर नया स्टेट बना तेलंगाना तो फोर्थ शेड्यूल में नया स्टेट लिख के राज्यसभा की सीट्स डालेंगे या नहीं डालेंगे? So you have to amend the fourth schedule and write Telangana and the number of seats Telangana will have in Rajya Sabha. So fourth schedule of the constitution will be amended. One more schedule will be amended. First schedule, schedule 1 has the list of states and union territories. Schedule 1 has the list of states and union territory. ये amend होगा कि नहीं होगा? If Jammu Kashmir is divided into 2 UTs, states से उसका नाम हट जाएगा. They will remove from here and they will add in UTs, that is Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. So 2 schedules would be amended. Okay. All these things which I have drawn over here, this is given in Article 3. उसको मैंने diagram format में डाला. In Article 4 it is given that anything done under Article 2 or Article 3 shall not be deemed to be a constitutional amendment under Article 368. Yani, whenever you are admitting a new state which is not part of India into India, or you are creating a new state, altering the boundary of a state, renaming a state, it will not be done by special majority, but it will be done by simple majority. So, it is done by simple majority. Anything done under Article 2 and 3 shall not be deemed to be a constitutional amendment under Article 368, although it will amend Article 1 and Schedule 1 and Schedule 4. And any other incidental changes that you have to make in the constitution, this will be done by simple majority or special majority. Simple or special? Huh? Simple majority. And will it be deemed to be a constitutional amendment? No. So ये बात Article 4 में जो कहे, अभी वो constitution में हम लोग सारी चीजें we will see. So since USA is sovereign, थोड़ा entertainment के लिए पढ़ा जाए. Okay. So some questions are very good, but some are, if we destruct the borderline of a state, example with China, we are destructing China. Okay, just search it on Google. ये सर ये PDF कहाँ से मिलेगा जो आप use कर रहे हैं? This is on Google actually. Okay, Google actually not able to copy it and paste it in search bar. Okay. Okay, हाँ पूछिए. Which has not been? हाँ. Okay. First of all, that will be done under Article 2. Then it will not be referred in the, either it can be created as a new state, or if it is done, it can, see there are different connotations. If there is, 3 things are there. One, if there is a constitutional void, whatever is given in the constitution, if there is a void, the court will interpret. Second important point, there can be 3 scenarios. One, he's asking a question, you take a part and you actually establish it as a state. So it will be done under Article 2. Second, you take a part and you merge it with one of the state. So if it is a land boundary agreement where you are giving that, then it will be done by a constitutional amendment. Abhi hum usko karenge. Third, you are taking a part and just merging it. Okay, just merging it. So actually in second what happens, what is the difference between second and third? You are actually giving something and getting something. India gave 111 enclaves and got 51 enclaves. So we are giving more and getting less. So it will be done by a constitutional amendment. Third, only we are getting. Okay, only we are getting and merging with the state, it will be done under Article 2. Because Parliament has been empowered to incorporate any state, establish new states or make it a part of Indian Union. You are getting that point? It will only be changed if you alter the boundary of a state, diminish the boundary of a state, change the name, and it is done within the country. If by outside the country, it will be dealt under Article 2, very clearly. आउटसाइड द कंट्री का कोई भी मुद्दा आता है, इट विल बी डन अंडर आर्टिकल 2, एंड विद इन द कंट्री इट विल बी डन अंडर, एंड दिस क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली हैज बीन आस्क्ड. आर्टिकल 2 डील्स विथ outside the country and 3 deals with within the country. Okay, now we will see the constitution. Ye actually UPSC will not, they will just ask you basic what is itna. Agar UPSC, they will have what, how a new state is created, not a single inch beyond that. What is positive of a new state, what is negative of new, nothing beyond that they will ask. Constitutional question, when I used to teach for judiciary, judiciary में भी ऐसा नहीं पूछते हैं, judiciary में भी इतना नहीं, basic constitutional law. So you have, see, now you have, it says article 3, formation of new states and alteration of areas and boundaries of names. Okay, it says, थोड़ा इसको ये कर देते हैं, ठीक है, ज्यादा भी नहीं, ठीक है, ठीक है. Parliament may by law form a new state by separation of a territory from any state, by uniting 2 or more states or part of state, or by uniting a territory, increase the area of a state, diminish the area of a state, alter the boundary of a state, alter the name of a state. अब condition जोड़ रहा है, provided that no bill for the purpose shall be introduced in either house of the parliament. Any bill that seeks to alter the boundary of a state, create a new state, change the name, except on the recommendation of president. So whose recommendation is necessary? President. Unless where the proposal contained in the bill affects the area, जिस area और boundary जिस state का affect हो रहा है, area and boundary, और name of any state को change करे, उड़ीसा, उड़ीसा, getting my point? अभी Bengal is demanding Bengal, okay. So you have, the bill has been referred by the president to the legislature of that state. So it is compulsory for the president to take the opinion of that particular legislature for expressing its views thereon within such period as he may specify. So president will specify that you have to give the opinion within certain time frame. Okay, within such period as he may specify, and within such further period as the president may allow, the period so specified allowed has expired. If they are delaying, president may allow or may not allow. So what is the condition? Whether it is necessary to take the recommendation of president? Yes. Whether it is necessary for president to take the opinion of state legislature? Yes. Whether it is necessary for legislature to give opinion on the time expressed by the president? Yes. If they don't give, it will be counted as they have said. Yes, president will give go ahead within the speculator, and then it is article. अब ये आता है थोड़ा conceptual बात, यहाँ पे जो है इसमें थोड़ा law है. It says in this article, clause A to E, state includes a union territory. Now this is a brute law. A to E includes a union territory, यानी the power of parliament to create a new state, alter the boundary of a state, diminish, also includes the power to create a new union territory, alter the boundary of a union territory, diminish the area of a union territory, everything. So clause A to E may state, clause A to E may, in this article, clause A to E includes a union territory. Usme union, power of parliament to create a state also includes the power to create a union territory. But in the proviso state does not include a union territory. यानी नीचे जो condition दिया हुआ है, this condition, this is the condition ना, this is proviso मतलब condition. इसमें state का मतलब union territory नहीं है. मतलब if a union territory's boundary is changed, you do not need to take the opinion of legislative assembly of union territory. You are getting my point? If your union territory's boundary, you do not need to take the opinion of union territories. So in the proviso, although they will not go this deep, itna to phir to basic. Otherwise, this is law optional class. They are asking general. They know somebody has graduated in mechanical, somebody has graduated in fisheries, somebody is from history. और सबसे लॉ ऑप्शनल पूछने लगेगा. बेसिक दे विल नो व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस टू क्रिएट अ स्टेट. डज द पावर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट टू क्रिएट अ स्टेट इंक्लूड्स द पावर टू क्रिएट अ यूनियन टेरिटरी? यस और नॉट? सो last they can ask, is it necessary to refer the bill to the legislative assembly of union territory? Yes or no? No. So does the power of parliament includes the power to create a state, also includes the power to create a union territory? Yes. Now we have explanation 2. Okay, अब और क्लियर कर दिया. द पावर कॉन्फर्ड ऑन पार्लियामेंट बाय क्लॉज ए इंक्लूड्स द पावर टू फॉर्म अ न्यू स्टेट, यूनियन टेरिटरी, by uniting a part of state or union territory to any other state or all. Now we have Article 4. ये actually पूछते नहीं है पर समझ जाइए. Any law referred to in Article 2 and 3. 2 मतलब power of parliament to admit new states into Indian Union. वो स्टेट जो इंडिया का पार्ट नहीं है, और आर्टिकल 3 जो इंडिया का पार्ट है, दो स्टेट्स विच आर पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, shall contain such provisions for amendment of first schedule. First schedule will be amended. नया स्टेट बनेगा तो फर्स्ट शेड्यूल में नेम ऑफ द स्टेट विल बी एडेड, एंड फोर्थ शेड्यूल एज मे बी नेसेसरी. फोर्थ शेड्यूल विच स्टेट हैज रिप्रेजेंटेशन इन राज्यसभा. अगर एक नया स्टेट बन रहा है तेलंगाना, तो उसका राज्यसभा में होगा ना रिप्रेजेंटेशन. इफ अ न्यू स्टेट इज क्रिएटेड, इट विल बी रिप्रेजेंटेड इन राज्यसभा, एंड द रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स इज गिवन इन फोर्थ शेड्यूल इन राज्यसभा, वेयर रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स इज गिवन इन लोकसभा. किस स्टेट की लोकसभा में कितनी सीट है, कहां दिया हुआ है बताइए. राज्यसभा नहीं, लोकसभा. एक राज्यसभा है, एक लोकसभा है. जाना है ना हमको, बोलता है ना मूवी में, हासिल में. ओके, सो टेल मी, वेयर, हाउ डिड यू नो दैट देयर आर 80 सीट्स फ्रॉम यूपी इन लोकसभा? और पॉपुलेशन से पूछा कि कितनी सीट है. एनीबडी विथ लॉ ऑप्शनल? ठीक है. डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन, डिलिमिटेशन को कहीं भी जोड़ दीजिएगा, उसकी वजह से होता है, कहीं तो लिखा होगा डिलिमिट. ऑनलाइन वॉरियर्स, गुड इवनिंग सर. Is there a way to reach out there over mail or elsewhere just in case of emergency? It will be fostering students attending classes. I'll share my mail, don't worry. Okay, but there is already around 500. I reply when I get time. Okay. So I, of course. So online warriors, RPA, Representation of People Act, they have answered. Actually, it is the first schedule of RPA 1950. Representation of People Act 1950, first schedule. And there will be few more questions where I'll give 1 day time. 1 day time to go and find out. Okay. So you have any law referred to in Article 2 and Article 3 shall contain such provisions for the amendment of first schedule and fourth schedule. किस स्टेट की कितनी सीट है राज्यसभा में, विच स्टेट हैज व्हाट सीट्स इन राज्यसभा. इफ यू आर क्रिएटिंग अ न्यू स्टेट, उसका नाम जोड़कर यू हैव टू ऐड दैट नेम एंड प्रोवाइड फॉर द सीट्स इन राज्यसभा. एज मे बी नेसेसरी टू गिव इफेक्ट टू द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द लॉ. आंध्र प्रदेश रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट को इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए सर्टेन अमेंडमेंट्स इन शेड्यूल 1 एंड शेड्यूल 4 हैज टू बी डन, and may also contain such supplemental, incidental and consequential provision. कुछ और changes in the constitution to actually bifurcate the state into two part or create a new state. Okay, so आगे कह रहा है, no such law aforesaid shall be deemed to be an amendment of this constitution for the purpose of Article 368. यानी this will, even if you are amending Schedule 1 and Schedule 4, it will not be deemed to be a Constitution amendment under Article 368. यानी it will be done by simple majority. समझ रहे हैं ये कहां लिखा है? Anything done under Article 2 or Article 3 will not be a constitutional amendment. It is clear. No such law is 2 or 3 में will be deemed to be a constitution. So it will be done by simple majority or special majority. RPA. Maybe, sir. Okay, I'll explain that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll explain that. Just 1 sec. I just want to show you something. अभी रुकिए, अभी 1 सेकंड रुकिए. Okay. I'll take few questions, don't worry. Okay, so dear students, this is the first schedule. First schedule has names of states. So you have Andhra Pradesh, Assam, okay, United States of Bihar, Gujarat, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, all the states are there, okay, Tamil Nadu. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Odisha, Punjab, land of 5 rivers. Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal. Okay, so all states are there, and then you have दिल्ली, अंडमान, लक्षद्वीप, दादर नगर. एक्चुअली ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अभी मिनिस्ट्री पे अपलोड नहीं किया उन्होंने. दादर नगर हवेली एंड दमन एंड दीव हैव बीन मर्ज्ड फ्रॉम 26 जनवरी 2020. ओके, चंडीगढ़, ओके. सो चलो, we have all the schedules. I'll be showing you fourth schedule. See, this is the fourth schedule. Which state has how many seats in Rajya Sabha? So you have Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Punjab, all the states. और नीचे आ जाता है दिल्ली एंड पुडुचेरी. ये ऊपर जो हुआ करता था, अभी ये एक्चुअली अपलोडेड नहीं है. ये यू आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट. So this has not been actually updated. This is Jammu and Kashmir. ये चला जाएगा अभी ये नीचे. Okay, so you got that. Now one question I will take from here. So somebody is asking, sir, can you please explain indestructible union of indestructible states again? Okay. So एक सेकंड डायग्राम बनाते हैं, उससे चटनी गिराकर ज्यादा सही रहेगा. So this is USA. इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन मतलब यूएसए की जो ओवरऑल बाउंड्री है, दिस कैन नॉट बी चेंज. सो नो स्टेट कैन से कि मैं रूट गया, मैं बाहर जा रहा हूं. सो नो स्टेट हैज अ राइट टू सीसीड. sovereign country can give its land under certain circumstances, but states cannot say that I will give. So USA is an indestructible union. मतलब जो यूनियन बन गया सो बन गया, अब कोई स्टेट बाहर, once made it, no state can come out. Indestructible union of indestructible state. Whatever is the boundary of USA, for example, you have North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, California, New York, Sandbar, all these states की boundary fix है, बाउंड्री चेंज नहीं हो सकती है. सो पूरी ओवरऑल बाउंड्री ऑफ यूएसए कैन नॉट बी डिमिनिश्ड. सो यूएसए इज इन इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन ऑफ इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल स्टेट्स. टेक्सास की भी बाउंड्री चेंज नहीं हो सकती और यूएस की भी बाउंड्री कम नहीं हो सकती. नीदर द बाउंड्री ऑफ टेक्सास कैन बी रिड्यूस नॉट द ओवरऑल. इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल यूनियन ऑफ इनडिस्ट्रक्टेबल स्टेट्स. इंडिया में ओवरऑल बाउंड्री चेंज नहीं होगी, अदर देन फ्यू aberrations, exceptions are there, land boundary agreement and all. So no state can claim to come out of the union. Overall boundary भी change नहीं होगी, और that will without a shadow of doubt not change, and states की boundary लेकिन change हो सकती है. For example, Bihar was bifurcated into Bihar and Jharkhand, like, okay. So you have Uttarakhand, UK they write on vehicle, and UP. Okay, so Uttarakhand came out. So India is an indestructible union of destructible states. So Bihar was actually into two parts. समझ गए? अब एक क्वेश्चन कोई पूछ रहा था, पूछिए पूछिए. क्यों नहीं, कहां मना किया है? बिल्कुल मना. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट में नहीं होगी. So this is not a constitution amendment. It is Article 108 joint sitting of the Constitution. So this is not a constitution amendment. Constitution amendment में कैसे joint sitting होगी? तब तो we'll see that when we do. Okay. So that is maybe Representation of People Act. Okay. Now one thing, see, I have been told to share what you call email ID. I have shared in other batches also. Please do not send academic queries. अगर आप academic queries बोलिएगा तो फिर मैं कैसे, मतलब सोऊंगा जीऊंगा कैसे, बताइए. If I see certain questions, I discuss. You mention your batch. Sometimes very very funny mails, okay, and sometimes serious ones. Sometimes जो भी I know, if I get time, whenever I get time, I like. उसके बाद good morning जो भेजिएगा. So in amil.hasan@gmail.com. Okay. Okay, I'll explain again. Yes, we will again. Kumar Pratyush, don't worry. Okay. So we have लिख लिए ना? ओके. So now this is how a new state is created. Have you drawn this diagram? So who is writing? 7:21 में लिखा था, अभी हाल में ही लिखा है. So why the president permission is required in creation of states when president acts on the advice of council of ministers? Actually it was debated in constituent assembly that whenever a state is to be bifurcated, referendum will be conducted. Then some members said कि if there is a smaller area that is underdeveloped, in a referendum the bigger area will never want it to be, it will never vote for. So how will then no state will ever be created. So said, okay, we will do one thing. No private member can introduce a bill to actually bifurcate a state. It will be embarrassment. So बीच में जोड़ दिया, you have to take the recommendation of president. क्या सर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कमेंट क्या क्यों सर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट कर देंगे तो क्या होगा? सिंपल मेजॉरिटी से एक शेड्यूल से क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? अरे भाई ये सब यूपीएससी पूछेगी, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? ऐसे तो सिलेबस ही नहीं खत्म होगा. वंस रिपीट आर्टिकल 2 and 3. आर्टिकल 2 and 3 दिस आई एम डूइंग. ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. देन अभी तो ऐसे तो चलते ही रहेगा. एक बार आप देखिएगा उसको. वीडियोस अपलोड हो रहे हैं ना? मुझे मालूम है, ऐसे ही पूछ रहा हूं. I know. Okay. So it is when I was literally, I'm telling, when I was graduating in law, I didn't had a doubt. So either I was absolute buddhu or I didn't. Used to discuss with scholars, my friends. पता नहीं, मतलब एक बार effort you do, you will understand. One effort you do. Okay. So just okay, so it comes to again saying Article 2 of the Constitution empowers the Parliament to admit those states which are not part of Indian. Tomorrow Beijing wants to be part of India, so we can make it a part of India by article. Tomorrow we would like to have tea at Islamabad, so we'll take them into our. Okay, ऐसे क्यों टेंशन ले? So without people we will take. So okay. Okay, so that will be done under Article 2. Parliament may by law admit into the union or establish new states on such terms and conditions as things fit. Then you have Article 3. कोई मत Okay, so Parliament has the power to form a new state and everything. Okay, so form a new. So this is about those states which are part of our beautiful country, that is India. तो India का जो state है उसकी boundaries change करने के लिए Article 3, outside के लिए Article 2. So you wrote that. Now you write. What was the last thing you wrote? This diagram you have not made. You wrote Article 3. कुछ अभी लिखा ही नहीं. हाँ लिखिए. Article 2. हाँ लिखिए 3. अच्छा, डायग्राम ये तो बना लीजिए, ये तो काम आएगा. और कुछ है ऑनलाइन? विजय भास्कर रेड्डी, माय फ्रेंड, आई रिटीरेटेड दैट यू कैन ऑल्सो लाइक. Sir, you said USA is an indestructible union. Rahul, Siddharth, what if president rules is in place from whom president will take opinion? Siddharth is asking a question. If there is a president rule, from whom president will take opinion? On 5th August 2019, Jammu Kashmir Reorganization Bill, Parliament of India gave an opinion on the behalf of Legislative Assembly of Jammu Kashmir because the state was under president rule from 20th of December 2018 under Article 356 of the Constitution. Jammu Kashmir, हिंदी भाषा में, जम्मू कश्मीर में president rule लगा हुआ था, इसी वजह से वहां लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली सस्पेंडेड थी. तो लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली के बिहाफ पर पार्लियामेंट ने ओपिनियन दिया जम्मू कश्मीर को 2 भाग में बांटने के लिए. So since Jammu Kashmir was under the president rule, so the Legislative Assembly of Jammu Kashmir, on its opinion, Parliament rendered an opinion on the behalf of the Legislative Assembly of Jammu Kashmir to bifurcate JK into 2 UTs. So अगर president rule लगा है सिद्धार्थ जी तो ऐसा ही होगा. ठीक है, इंडिस्ट्रक्टिबल यूनियन भी समझा दिए आप लोगों का. ठीक है, अब लिखिए आर्टिकल 3 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, आर्टिकल 3 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन empowers the parliament to, article 3 of the constitution empowers the parliament to article 3 of the constitution empowers the parliament to form a new state, form a new state, increase, diminish, alter, form a new state, increase, diminish, alter, form a new state, increase, diminish, alter the boundaries of state, okay, boundaries of state, and also change the name of the state. Change the name of the state. Please write further. Any such bill can only be introduced, any such bill can only be introduced on the, any such bill can only be introduced on the prior recommendation of President. Any such bill can only be introduced on the prior recommendation of President. Okay, full stop. Next you write, the President has to refer the bill, the President has to refer the bill to the state legislature for expressing its opinion. President has to refer the bill to the state legislature for expressing its opinion, or to express its opinion, बात एक ही है, state legislature to express its opinion over the bill, over the bill within a specified time period, within a specified time period. Within a specified time period. Okay, next you write, the power of Parliament under Article 3 the power of Parliament under Article 3 also includes the power to form a union territory. Also includes the power to form a union territory. ठीक है? But no such bill has to be referred. But no such bill has to be referred but no such bill has to be referred to the UT legislature. But no such bill has to be referred to the UT legislature for ascertaining its views. For ascertaining its views. ठीक है, आगे लिखिए. the views expressed by the state legislature, the views expressed by the state legislature is not binding on the president, is not binding on the president. The views expressed by the state legislature is not binding on the president. And every time an amendment is made to the bill, every time an amendment is made to the bill, every time an amendment is made to the bill, it is not necessary to refer the same, it is not necessary to refer the same it is not necessary to refer the same to the to the state legislature. Very good. Please write. To the state legislature. ठीक है? ओके? आगे लिखिए the Article 4 states that Article 4 states that, बताइए क्या, anything done under Article 2 or Article 3, anything done under Article 2 or Article 3 anything done under Article 2 or Article 3 shall not be deemed to be a constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment. ठीक है? आगे अब एक सुप्रीम को, अच्छा, if the if certain part is to be given to a foreign country, from where it will be given? If India has to cede a territory to a foreign country, from where that land will come? From where that land will come? हाँ? नहीं, इंडिया टेरिटरी में क्या क्या आता है? Either from a state or union territory. Is there a doubt about that? So either it will be from a state land or from a union territory. So a question went to Supreme Court that does Article 3 empowers the parliament to alter or diminish the boundary of a state? So does the power of Article 3 empowers the parliament to actually give away land to a foreign country? Because it has the power to alter or diminish the boundary of a state. And altering or diminish also includes giving away land to a फॉरेन टेरिटरी. अगर सेंटर यूनियन गवर्नमेंट लैंड दे रही है किसी कंट्री को, इफ दे आर साइनिंग एन अग्रीमेंट, लैंड बाउंड्री अग्रीमेंट, सो इट विल कम फ्रॉम वेयर? आर्टिकल, फ्रॉम वेयर लैंड विल बी गिवन? स्टेट एंड यूनियन टेरिटरी. So actually does the power in Article 3 includes the power to give away land to a foreign country? इस क्वेश्चन को सुप्रीम कोर्ट डिसाइडेड. ओके, सो सुप्रीम कोर्ट मैटर वाज रेफर्ड इन री बेरूबरी यूनियन केस. कुछ आया है? ओके, री बेरूबरी यूनियन केस. नाउ यू हैव सी, अभी यहां देखिए डियर स्टूडेंट्स, नॉर्मली देयर आर केसेस लाइक दिस. यू हैव केशवानंदा भारती वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ केरला. You have state of West Bengal versus Union of India. इसमें कितने पार्टीज हैं? How many parties are there? 2 or more. Many a times you have Supreme Court advocate on record association and others versus Union of India. So यहां बहुत से parties हैं. So normally in cases you have like this, but some cases you will find it is written re Beru Badi Union case. Re Beru Badi Union case. Okay. So actually union case. और अभी एकदम लास्ट ईयर का केस है री सिक्योरिटी ऑफ जजेस with respect to killing of ADJ Dhanbad case. ADJ Dhanbad, additional district judge of Dhanbad, was on a morning walk. He was killed by an auto, somebody against whom he gave a verdict. So actually they killed him. So this matter. So whenever you see re before a case, there can be two connotation. One connotation is there that there is no case between two parties. There is a article 143. We will see this when we do judiciary. अभी बस इतना समझिए. Article 143. We are coming to re Berubari Union case. So you will be thinking कि re है क्या? Article 143 of the Constitution empowers the President to seek an advice on a matter from Supreme Court. किसी भी legal matter, if it is a question of law or fact that is of public importance. ये term use हुआ Article 143 में कि any question of law or fact that is of public importance, President can seek the opinion of Supreme Court. उन cases में re लगता है because there is no two party. Actually, there is a reference made by President. So re Berubadi Union is actually not a case in Supreme Court. It is an opinion on a matter that is sought by the President from the Supreme Court. And this in Article 143 is called advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. So advisory jurisdiction मतलब Supreme Court advice देती है President को कोई भी any issue of law or fact that is of public importance. और in cases में, in these cases the term that is used is re. So re Berubari Union case मतलब it was actually not a case but a presidential reference to the Supreme Court. But it is not necessary that it is re always. For example, ADJ Dhanbad was killed on road. So the Supreme Court Bar Association President Mr. Vikas Singh, he went to the Chief Justice of India and he mentioned orally that the situation of security of judges of lower court is very low, very bad. So we must improve that security. Okay, so it became, Supreme Court took the matter and actually it was mentioned by one person. So it became re-security of judges with respect to killing of ADJ Dhanbad case. So normally re matlab reference made by President, but sometimes the court can start a case even on a reference made by any person. If the person is actually mentioning and court finds it worthy कि उसको accept करे. So it is re security of judges. So what is the meaning of re? You got that? Re का मतलब क्या है? अब आते हैं. Okay. So Article 3 of the Constitution empowers the Parliament to alter or diminish the boundary of a state or union territory. Diminish the boundary of a state or union territory. Does this power includes the alter or diminish the boundary of any state and give it to a foreign country so that they come here and this so is this question went to Supreme Court in re Beru Badi re Bedubari Union case. So the Supreme Court in this case reference वाले केस के लिए we avoid using the term in law ruled. We use the term Supreme Court opined because actually it did not rule, it gave an opinion. So in re cases we actually use the term opined rather than using the term ruled. So the Supreme Court in re Berubari Union case 1960 opined that the power under Article 3 to alter or diminish the boundary of a state does not include the power to give away land to a foreign country. If you want to give away land to a foreign country, you have to bring a constitutional amendment by special majority. उसके बाद Supreme Court in another 1969 again said that, okay, If you are going for a land boundary settlement, you are giving 2 kilometer, you are getting 2 kilometer. So Supreme Court did not specify कि 3 किलोमीटर 4, ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोला. A minor land boundary settlement can be done by an executive action, just by no law is required or constitution amendment, but they did not specify the territory. So normally whenever the government signs a land boundary agreement to implement that, it opts for constitutional amendment. Otherwise there will be unnecessary controversy. So there is another controversy. There is Kachativu Island between India and Sri Lanka. Okay, so actually it is an island where the fishermen from both the sides used to go. It is in the between India and Sri Lanka, and there is a church also. Church festival is also celebrated. The other communities also come at times. So India in magnanimity, Darya Dili, India in magnanimity gave Kachativu Island to Sri Lanka. So there was a case that how can you give a land to a foreign country without actually constitution amendment, as opined by Supreme Court in Berubari case or ruled by Supreme Court in 69 कि ठीक है भाई, minor settlement can be. So government said we actually did not give Kachativu to Sri Lanka. It belonged to Sri Lanka only. Through an agreement we agreed to that. Huh? You are getting my point. So it belonged to Sri Lanka only. Through an agreement we accepted their sovereignty over that territory, subject to a condition that it will allow the fishermen from both the sides to rest over there, an annual church festival, and another thing they can go and celebrate, which now is becoming a trouble. At times they don't allow. Okay, so this is the, now the Sri Lanka economy is in trouble, so they are coming, and we have extended line of credit, all these things. Okay, so otherwise the Supreme Court in 1969 in Re Berubari Union case opined under Article 143 that the power under Article 3 to alter the boundary of a state does not include the power to give land to a foreign territory. It has to be done through a constitutional amendment. Any doubt about that? Okay, so please write this. The Supreme Court opined in Re Berubari Union case the Supreme Court opined in Re Berubari Union case that the Supreme Court opined in Re Berubari Union case that the power under Article 3 to diminish or alter the boundary of a state, the power under Article 3 to diminish or alter the boundary of a state the Supreme Court opined in Re Berubari Union case in 1960 that the power under Article 3 to alter or diminish the boundary of a state or UT does not empower Parliament to cede territory to a foreign state. Does not empower Parliament to cede territory to a foreign state. Cede territory to a foreign state. Okay? Does not empower Parliament to cede territory to a foreign state. Okay? And it can only be done through a constitutional amendment under Article 368. And it can only be done through a constitutional amendment under Article 368. It can only be done through a constitutional amendment under Article 368. Constitutional amendment under Article 368. Okay? ठीक है? Next you write the 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 parliament the parliament can cede territory, but for a minor settlement of boundary dispute, but for a minor settlement of boundary dispute, but for a minor settlement of boundary dispute, constitutional amendment is not required, but for a minor dispute, settlement of boundary dispute, constitutional amendment is not required. Constitutional amendment is not required, and it can be done and it can be done by an executive action. It can be done by an executive action. हाँ क्या? कोर्ट विल डिसाइड, यही तो, यूपीएससी विल नेवर आस्क यू. ये अगर सोच भी रहे हैं तो मैं जानता हूं सोच रहे हैं, ये यूपीएससी थोड़ी बोलेगा अभी लैंड बाउंड्री हुआ डिसाइड करो कि पार्लियामेंट. यूपीएससी विल नॉट इवन आस्क दिस, बट सिंस सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज सेड इफ इट विल बी चैलेंज, हु विल डिसाइड? प्रगति मैदान मेट्रो स्टेशन हैज बीन नेम्ड एज सुप्रीम कोर्ट स्टेशन, तो कोर्ट इज देयर. और वहां तो कोर्ट ने नहीं कहा 3 किलोमीटर 5 किलोमीटर, एकदम दिल पे नहीं लेना है, ठीक है, एकदम चिल कीजिए. जितना हमने किया है, दे विल जस्ट आस्क हाउ अ न्यू स्टेट इज क्रिएटेड, power to give away land, and these basic questions. Okay, just you write, put an asterisk and write 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. '100th Constitutional Amendment Act '100th Constitutional Amendment Act actually implemented the land boundary agreement between India and Bangladesh. ठीक है, agreement between India and Bangladesh. Okay, now you write कि we will do reorganization tomorrow. Now you write benefits of smaller states. Online warriors, what are the benefits of smaller states? Huh? We'll engage them also, na? What are the benefits of smaller states? हाँ, चलिए एक पॉइंट, क्या नाम है आपका? उदित ने कहा बेटर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. ओके, एनी अदर पॉइंट? ऑफलाइन स्पार्टन्स, हाँ बताइए. एकदम नाश्ता वाश्ता आप लोगों ने नहीं किया लग रहा है. पहली ही क्लास है कि 2 क्लास है? फर्स्ट या सेकंड क्लास है? फिर क्या भाई, एक क्लास तो लाइक कुछ नहीं है, बैठिए खत्म हो जाएगी. दिस इज माई सेकेंड क्लास एक्चुअली. ओके ओके, प्रिजर्व द कल्चर वाइल क्रिएटिंग अ न्यू स्टेट. ओके, एनी, चलो बेटर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, और बताइए. हाँ, ब्रिंग पीपल क्लोजर. सो एक्चुअली इसी पॉइंट को क्या एक तरीके से स्ट्रेंथन डेमोक्रेसी. वाई? people are demanding, de do naya state, de do, you are not giving actually, so they will lose faith, na? So you are creating a state, so actually you are accepting the grievances of masses, so it will strengthen democracy. Any other point? Online aya, better development. Okay, better management of resources, strategic importance, proper maintenance of law and order. Har Simran. Okay, Harini, easy communication, efficient. Okay, Riya Chauhan, Ashad Anwar, better administration. Karthik Joshi, easier administration. Divya Darshini Chaturvedi, advantage of fewer legacy systems, better opportunity for representation of minorities, Ishita Sharma, Shikhar Singh, micro development project. Okay, so please write A, better administration, better administration. Okay, B, better management of resources, better management of resources. C, strengthens democracy, strengthens democracy, better management of resources strengthens democracy by by ventilating the regional grievances, ventilating regional grievances. Okay, एक टर्म होता है टेलर मेड सॉल्यूशंस. When you get a shirt tailored by a tailor, actually it is of your size. So if there is a issue of a Telangana is an elevated plateau, it's a landlocked area, so the area, that region has a different issue. If it will be created in a state, as a state, so tailor-made solution will be provided to that. What is the challenges and what are the opportunities? It will be better synchronized, right? Tailor-made solutions. Better governance भी लिखी दीजिए. This Narendra Pal opinion given by Supreme Court is not binding. Okay, so get लिखे better governance. अब लिखिए challenges. Challenges. What are the challenges? सब वेस्टेज ऑफ, और कुछ तगड़ा बोलिए. सबसे पहले गिव्स राइज टू रीजनलिज्म. एक को मिला तो विदर्भा, सौराष्ट्र, बुंदेलखंड, गोरखालैंड, उसको दिया था आपने कल तो. सो गिव्स राइज टू सिमिलर रीजनल, प्लीज राइट, गिव्स राइज टू सिमिलर रीजनल डिमांड्स. अभी एक क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज अ शेड्यूल. लिखिए गिव्स राइज टू सिमिलर रीजनल डिमांड्स. नेक्स्ट, और बताइए. हाँ, एक्सपेंसेस तो ठीक है. अच्छा, मेक कंसेंसस. ओके, सो यू से इट इज अगेंस्ट द आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन, स्मॉलर स्टेट्स. अच्छा, okay, if there are less number of people, is it easy to make consensus or tough to make consensus? Easy to make consensus, but if there is a smaller legislative assembly, the government will be more stable or less stable. दो घस का, if there is a small, Jharkhand is a classic example. पिछले 22 सालों में 4 गवर्नमेंट आनी चाहिए थी, 9 गवर्नमेंट आई है. क्यों? इफ देर इज अ स्मॉल स्टेट, 3 इधर और 3 इधर, सो द स्मॉलर लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज आर मोर स्टेबल और लेस स्टेबल. लेस स्टेबल हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी, लेकिन एक पॉइंट है. नेक्स्ट बताइए, अगर नए स्टेट बनाए तो एक क्या इशू आएगा? बाउंड्री डिस्प्यूट तो वो तो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट ही सॉल्व कर देगा. वो तो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट विल सॉल्व. Which resources? Water resources. Upper riparian state, which is an upper riparian state, which जहां से river originate करती है, that is an upper riparian state, और जहां जाती है lower. So upper riparian state और lower riparian state में water sharing को लेके there will be an issue with water sharing. So there will be chances of less stable governments due to defections, and what resources, water disputes will be more. So please write chances of less stable governments due to defection. Chances of less stable governments due to defection. Chances of less stable governments due to defection. Next, may give rise to water disputes या interstate water disputes. Interstate water disputes hinder trade and commerce. Okay, Harsimran, Pragati Dubey, better reached government schemes. Sakshi Semwal, you have less resources. Ikra, Shiraz Shafi, loss of unity, linguistic demand. Divyadarshini, Akil, law and order. Kanishka Gupta, increase job opportunities. Okay, so these are the points. The points का कोई नहीं, आप भी अपने points जोड़ सकते हैं ना, ये कोई finality element तो है नहीं. Okay, you want to add, बताइए. ओके, कैपिटल अभी आंध्र प्रदेश में चल रहा है, डिस्प्यूट रिलेटेड टू कैपिटल. ओके, बताइए. इट reduces और okay, reduces the bargaining. You can, there can be if there is an element of subjectivity, you can write a point and actually justify that point. So reduces, if there is a bigger state in a federalism, it will have wider power. Smaller state अच्छा बाद में होगी बात. So getting my point. So this is, so by गए, or for that matter capital, it gives rise to capital disputes. ये तो practical चल रहा है अभी. So you write may give rise to capital disputes. Okay. ये मतलब ये एक्चुअली इंक्रीज द, ये मानना है कि ज्यादा लोग होंगे तो ज्यादा लड़ेंगे, तो हकीकत है, पर ना बोले तो मतलब ठीक है, अच्छा है. ओके, वी चिराग शर्मा इज आस्किंग हाउ डज स्मॉलर स्टेट्स गिव राइज टू सिमिलर रीजनल डिमांड. आपने तेलंगाना बना दिया, गोरखालैंड नहीं बनाया. आपने झारखंड बना दिया, बुंदेलखंड नहीं बनाया. आपने you created Chhattisgarh, you did not create Saurashtra and Vidarbha. So when you create Sri Potti Sri Ramulu, who sat on a hunger strike, 56 days, died. So there was Andhra Pradesh created, then Kerala, and so many other states also later. So actually, when you give into a demand, then definitely other similar demands, Chirag also comes up. Okay? हाँ फरमाइए जी. मुझे बिल्कुल भी लिटरली आवाज नहीं आ रही. हाँ बताइए. नेशनल वेरी गुड. नेशनल इंटीग्रिटी रीजनलिज्म से बढ़ेगी अगर, लेकिन हमेशा याद रखिए, बच्चे की बात सुनी जाएगी तो वो घर का सदस्य और स्ट्रांग होगा. इफ यू विल हियर टू द चाइल्ड, ही विल बी मोर इनटू. इफ यू विल नॉट हियर, ही विल से, यू हैव सीन दैट मूवी जिसमें he says ki student of the year, he says dad I also have an opinion, so he says you also start having an opinion. So actually the point is ki if you will listen, cater to the aspirations of the region, they actually would lead to national integration. At the same time, many small demands of create, because then there will be similar demands in Manipur. So national integration perspective se she has raised a vital point. Okay, ki agar yahan par samajh ab hai ki more states would lead to more dispute. This is actually a likelihood. Okay, but we should not, it will give a negative impression ki more state, but theek hai, these points you can add. Okay, but yes, one thing to sure hai ki regional demand badhegi. If you are creating Telangana, why not Gorkhaland? Okay, so we did this. Now what we will do? हाँ बोलिए. Administrative cost. Okay, नया स्टेट बना, विधानसभा, काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स के लिए कैबिनेट, हाई कोर्ट. ओके, और इस सब के खर्चे. ओके, गेटिंग माय पॉइंट. सो ऑफ कोर्स इट विल ब्रिंग इन, सो कुछ तो मतलब कुछ तो खर्च हो गई, विदाउट अ शैडो ऑफ डाउट. इट विल लीड टू एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट इंक्रीजिंग. यू कैन ऐड, इट विल लीड टू राइज इन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट. अभी ऑनलाइन वॉरियर्स, विकी सैनी अफेक्ट द इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ द नेशन. देवेंद्र सैनी स्मॉल साइज. ओके, आदित्य शर्मा स्टेट रिजर्वेशन. मधुर मोर इंट्रिकेसीज ऑफ रिसोर्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. अभिनव अकील सर, हु इज द स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर ऑफ यूटी विच इज टू बी फॉर्म्ड, फॉर विच नो रेफरेंस. दिल्ली, पुडुचेरी, जेके. अच्छा, व्हाट इज टेलर मेड सॉल्यूशन का मतलब सुजल, कोई ऐसा सॉल्यूशन जो उसी स्टेट के लिए है, स्टेट की अपनी स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम, देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम एंड देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक सॉल्यूशन. इफ तेलंगाना is created, it is an elevated play to specific solution will be there. We will see defection. Kumar Pratyush will see. Okay, so we will next class what we are going to do, please listen to me. First we will do reorganization of states in India. After that I told you there is only one thing that I break the chronology, that is citizenship. Otherwise so next class will be start with the most important thing, that is fundamental rights, part 3 of the constitution. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.